Hey, welcome back, everybody, to more Pathways into Darkness with Rampancy.net. I am Nargajan.
I'm Blackstar.
I'm Liacrow.
And I'm Jeyl.
And yeah, we're continuing our exciting adventures into Pathway into Art Theft. Because reasons.
Yeah, because reasons.
Yeah. We're having fun with the titles here, so yes, we do know what we're doing.
I have a long list. I have a list of all the titles we've used because I keep them in. I keep them in the VMix preset.
I think we should make a T-shirt. I really do.
And Liacrow
Pathways into IT
in the driver's seat, as indicated on the screen.
Woohoo!
Also, by the fact that I'm actually running this in a OS 9 emulator.
Ooh. But are you running your emulator in your emulator? Amber's already in the chat. Hi, Amber.
In the chat. Hi, Amber.
She says hi, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the party.
Hello.
And supposedly we haven't even quite made halfway yet. I was hoping that we'd kind of make it a goal because we had a couple setbacks and scheduling things and yada yada yada.
It's kind of hard. I think it's kind of hard to measure this because there's backtracking and stuff. It's not like you can say, well, there's 20 levels, and when you reach level 10,
and we've done
halfway
10
through.
Yeah,
It doesn't work that way.
And it's not like we've been completionist either, but we're taking the quote first time run approach as opposed to the speed run.
Yeah,
so
we're taking it as it comes and consulting the Book of Armaments as is necessary. Not
the full time Red Cup girls we are.
Stopped hearing the game for some reason.
Oh,
is she now sending it?
And FYI, just to recap, Leah is now in control of the game this playthrough.
Yes.
do I still? Oh, did my patch back it? When I restarted the stream, I think the it reset the
input.
Yeah. So I'll just I just gotta find Sheep Shaver and patch that into Firefox.
Because we don't want to miss a single pop of these things.
And that this should be better. How about that?
Negative.
Did you hear the gun?
Negative.
No, we're not hearing the game.
Oh, that's not good. Should be.
Yeah, Amber's confirming. She hears Leah's voice, but not the game. We're working on it. It'll just give us a second.
Well, it's piped into how I had it before.
Was it coming through on together with your voice? And so when we took your voice out?
No, it would. It should be. Wait, let me double check the. Oh, right.
Possibly left.
I think that I can't mute myself.
Oh, because I'm hearing you in the VMix call.
Oh wait, now I remember. I need to. That's how I do this. Okay.
Okay.
Now I should be.
She got used to a Huey.
You were doubled for a bit, and now you're not.
Yes, I think I got this straight.
So now let's check the game. Gotcha.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah,
we got it.
All right, there we go. Victory.
Super.
Shoot with a gun. That's what the bullets are for, you twit.
And I got to figure out where I am because I get so lost in here.
Well, it is dark, and there's only a path.
Yeah, and Amber's pointing out. Yeah, Leah was echoed. Leah was echoed for a bit. It'll resolve itself.
I was not having the best of luck in the room with the exploding pods.
I don't think this is the right way. Yeah, this is the wrong way. I need
How
to
do
go.
I sound now? Is it clear?
So I think. Oops,
Amber says yes.
I believe both of these ladders go down to the same level.
Yeah.
Which is the
So I need to
exploding.
go back up. Is the thing because I think we missed a ladder because we were talking about that.
Well, we missed the room with the gold bars, which I thought was just treasure, but then you said also maybe has a Nazi in it. We haven't.
It's not just that. It's that we need. So the labyrinth, the annoying level with all the my mind is saying Voltorbs. I don't know why it's going to Pokemon, but
it's okay. We understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't need a translation for any of that at all.
Okay. And those guys are called Sentinels. Now, and you were saying like they may be the only thing that are alive in here, but isn't everything in here? a manifestation of the dreaming god and therefore not not real? I
Well,
don't know.
what I'm thinking is like,
That's true.
wouldn't these be inhabitants who are maybe drawn to the temple, perhaps, and are used as
Could
like
be.
it? Because I just find it very unusual that this dreaming god would pick a human.
Some
Yeah,
fantastic.
but most of these things are clearly not
Well, yeah,
anything you'd find outside.
which is why I'm kind of under
And
the
it's
pretense
not.
that these are
I mean, it's not
people.
not that unusual to imagine a human on Earth. Maybe unusual to imagine them kneeling on the floor in the bottom of an underground temple, maybe. But
Oh, I'm doing terrible this morning.
we may be looking for a coherence in the design that doesn't fully exist.
Oh,
Hey, buddy.
Which would bring us to the discussion I wanted to have about the art theft.
Hmm.
Started.
Already? Wait, I thought we were
Well,
going to open that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't. I want to let the game. I want to let the game breathe a little bit.
We were
first
going
before
to, right. We were going to
jump-
segue. We were going to,
before we jump right into the collapse
Right.
of the gaming company we've been following for 3 decades.
that suddenly has completely
Yeah.
self-destructed to the point of we're actually can't stand them anymore, and we want to completely
Well,
change our identity
to-
and have no association with them whatsoever.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
Hey, I'm ready to
definitely-
burn the t-shirt when you are.
Definitely going from they're an instant buy no matter what they do to I'll wait and see to probably not.
Oh, I've gone to full. I am never giving them any more money ever. Congratulations, you have burned that bridge to my wallet. Because to be honest, for people voting these days, the only thing worth voting for is with your wallet. So sorry, in my mind, there are other gaming companies, and again, our gaming peripheral experience is very niche. It's very selective. It's very old school. We're not the latest, greatest, everything that comes down the pike kind of people. So we're going to be very selective about what we do. And more often than not lately, the older stuff, the stuff we remember having fun with, the remember we had good times and experiences with, we want to re-experience or look at things that we never did at the time or never completed or skipped over or only had a peripheral experience, we're going back to. And having much more fun doing that rather than paying for services, dealing with the social politics and economic histories and I mean, I'm sorry. I remember back in the day when you would take a video game, plug it into whatever you needed, and play the game to have fun. That was it. That was the experience.
these things.
I want more of that. And if we can do more of that here for people, I think people who are also tired of all the peripheral BS in the industry can kind of relax and just enjoy yourselves. And if we can do more of that, I think that would be a good thing.
Their range is unfortunately very long too for such a, and they respawn
and
like
they just
crazy.
kind of come at you instantly. Like as soon as they appear, they get you.
And they come at you from behind too when you just pass them in a corridor you don't even look down at. Oh yeah, you want to
Okay.
explain, Leah, why the labyrinth is so tricky? Because I tried this level after our last session, and
Well,
it didn't. Oh,
we did
sorry.
cheat in a bunch of more bullets, so there's that.
I just
This is
did
true.
a little cheesing trick there, where if when you rest, it only increments this in like whole numbers.
Okay.
And so if you let it go all the way to the top,
Oh.
you lose the time that you would have. It spends an entire amount of time that it would take to increment it by 1 to fill up that last fraction.
Mm.
This is a tiny little thing you can do to save
Does that
time.
work in
Feel it?
minimums too then? Can you like rest and cancel, rest and cancel, rest and cancel, and basically get like, well, no matter how little time you use, you get the maximum health benefit?
I
Not-
think you have to like cancel as soon as it gets to the next increment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now there is another strategy for that rest and stop, and that's for the cedar box because that replicates every single tick.
Oh, it didn't actually replicate anything.
Well,
Am I
that's
supposed to
what.
have that? Because I just rested in it, and I still haven't replicated an MP41 here.
Hmm,
In fact, how much do I have? So we got in this thing left. Whoops.
that's a big magazine.
Yeah, we were screwing around in the editor
Yeah,
earlier.
the editor was showing number of magazines, and I wanted to know, like, is that cheating in a number of magazines? And Leah said, no, it's the number of bullets in the magazine. I'm like, oh well, can you just put in any number you want? So we decided to put in a big number. So we
That's
put in
that's fine.
256 because we thought that might crash it, but it didn't.
But anyways,
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to get about the labyrinth is I thought that it was just a straight downhill path from going from up to down in this scheme of a temple. I didn't realize that the labyrinth actually contained not one but 4 exits to 4 unique areas. And one of those areas is essential, and I completely skipped over it. And of course, since that so and I found also that the when it shifts the way its layout is every time you enter it, the ladders are still where they will be in the corners of the map.
Yeah, that part at least. Oh,
See, this is what I hate. They come up behind you.
yeah. The spawn rate is ridiculous.
And the turning radius is so slow. It takes you so long
Right?
to turn
Mhm.
around. And I like it seemed like the dodging was a thing that's like, yeah, okay, that's just me being bad. Oh my god.
Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna check
But once something's
by
behind
doing
you,
on.
like you can't turn around any faster than it will let
Oh,
you.
frack.
Yeah,
Oh.
you don't have anything in your cedar box.
Ah.
You used
It,
it on when you reloaded, didn't you?
yeah. It
Uh,
just did that automatically. So
Oh, did it pull it out of the box?
yep,
it pulled it out of the box and used my last one.
the last full mag.
Oh no.
You know, you're not that far off from the beginning if you want to reload.
Hmm.
Unless you think we'll come across another mag soon.
Um,
I mean, it was a rough start.
yeah, it was a restart. What do you say? Should I reload? Because
I'd
that's
say
screwed up.
reload. We're
Yeah,
having
Yeah,
because
fun.
reload. Yeah,
the
go ahead.
alternative
Go
is
ahead.
editing in another.
No. Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm like, as interesting as that would be to do, I would say just reload.
Yeah.
Um,
Thankfully, I
so
did save after I did all the inventory management.
so yeah, so
Nice.
I'm not quite at the point of like burning all my Bungie swag, although you would notice that I'm not wearing any today.
I've been wearing the same Bungie swag for like well on a year. I just use the same shirt because
I
all the
mean,
other stuff is either going to be gone or
we are a tiny hobbyist
eliminated.
channel that doesn't do any sponsorships or anything,
Nope.
but we've still been accused of being shills. Where I literally had people like said,
It's pathetic.
How can you dare to criticize any part of the gaming industry while you're wearing a Fallout shirt? You hypocrite. I'm like,
How dare you?
get lost.
Yeah, sorry.
but still.
Get bent.
But no, I mean, all of my swag is from like the old Bungie, the Destiny shirts and stuff like that. I mean, I would say they're still making creative effort at this point. But the thing about trying to inferring a coherent design where none may exist, where we're looking at some random enemies in this game and wondering, well, are they real or are they dreams of the god, and why would the god dream this? Some of the art that was stolen from the anti-real group had text in it, and one of the text items in that was the word Aleph, which a lot of people online were inferring to be Bungie is paying an homage to Aleph 1, the community updates to the original Marathon games. And then to find out that no, they didn't put that text in there. They looked at somebody else's art that included that word that may or may not have been a reference to that in that art, but wasn't a conscious decision by a Bungie artist to write those words in there. It just ended up there because they were taking stuff that fit their aesthetic, or that, even as far as a lot of us could tell, is literally the source for the aesthetic. Like, it's really, really obvious looking at the stuff, and we'll show some of it on the screen later. But it really looks to me like
As soon as I get in here. Oh man.
what
Ugh.
what Sony wanted out of Bungie was multiple service games as a service revenue
Live
streams.
service, yep.
I think
Yes,
I think
everyone apparently is trying to do that.
Yeah, I think the Destiny 2.1 is eventually going to close. I don't think it's growing. I don't think anything they're doing now is going to draw in any large supply of new fans. So I think the idea was, say, how do we open up a whole new revenue stream with a minimum amount of effort? And I think that's why they settled on the extraction shooter idea, right? Small number, small maps, and maximum number of possibilities for microtransactions just by building pricing of objects and losing loot into the game. Like, where, because you could just see that. You could see like the number of players on the alpha who were just, well, I lost all my stuff, so now I have to buy stuff from the in-game store. Oh, what is okay? What was that?
What?
I'm doing some testing, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that was Blackstar. I was wondering, like, okay, that's a weird bit of sound to be coming from this particular game.
Yes.
But maybe there was something I didn't know about. So what was that?
Similar error. Well, see, here's the thing. I'm trying to do a little surprise thing with the way that I'm doing. I'm doing
Okay.
this like totally last minute on the fly with NDI sources that I'm not even sure are 100% working correctly.
I am using NDI for the soundboard now, actually.
Oh, are you? You told me that it was going away.
I mean, I do think that NDI.
Oh no.
Sorry, this is really wonky and not at all on topic for gaming. But I think
I've been grilled with one of those annoying electrical spheres. Get used to it.
Oh no.
Never.
Not the spheres.
But I don't want to get used to being grilled by electrical spheres.
Oh no, my eyes. My eyes.
I think in the live event and broadcast markets, NDI is going to be squeezed between SRT and 2110. I think if you've got no budget, then it's going to be easier to spend some more of your time configuring and use SRT. If you have lots of money, you're just going to pay for 2110. And Black Magic putting a lot of their investment into 2110, where they still offer extremely competitive price points. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what the market niche is going to be for NDI.
Probably right.
No.
But I am using it because the monitor mixer, which is also for my mic, which is the Rodecaster Duo, which is the same one that Blackstar and Jeyl have, basically doesn't have a huge number of physical inputs. So I've got my mic and I've got the streaming PC and I've got the gaming PC, and they're all connected to it. But if I wanted the sound, the program that runs the soundbar, that was this, the soundboard, that was a separate thing. And there were a number of ways to doing it. I was basically doing it by just pumping that audio from a Windows application to a virtual device. But the programs weren't all that great. Like, the best program to use for that is QLab on the Mac, which I have. But that means I had to get it out of the Mac Mini into this, which is an additional machine. And it just turned out that the fastest, quickest way to do that was, use an NDI virtual device. That's easy to add to vMix. It's easy to send to from the Mac. So I just did that and didn't bother with anything else.
A fair answer.
I'm a big fan of keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. And QLab is great. Like, it was really weird that, like, I spent so much time building a soundboard in vMix for Halloween a bunch of years ago. Remember we put the speakers?
Oh, I remember that. You went full on production facility.
That is so much easier to do in QLab. Like, it's the kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing that QLab is made for.
But
it's a Mac only program, and
No.
you can do massive amounts of stuff with the free version of that. The paid versions of that can do a lot more stuff, but most ordinary people don't need it, because if you're not in if you're not in a live production venue, then you don't have a light board, you don't have OSC commands you need to send. you don't need this other stuff. But just to run a soundboard, it's superb.
Came from behind.
Phrasing.
Oh no, we lost Porkins.
I'm right with you, Red 3.
It's no good. I can't maneuver.
Stay on target.
No, I cannot.
Stay on target.
Loosen up.
I should be.
Oh my God!
I'm in range. Okay.
Yes.
Need a light. Okay.
Yes, this is the room.
Okay, so what this is flying rats? Or oh no, this is the one you skipped.
Yes, this is the one I skipped.
Oh yeah, this is going to be the one with Barney, isn't it?
Wait a minute. No, this isn't Barney. This is something else.
Oh. Okay.
Speaking of soundboard, that probably belongs on the soundboard.
Barney?
This isn't Barney. This is something.
Oh, I'll remember that.
Oh. See, at least I dodged that wherever it came from.
A nightmare.
Oh. Oh.
I know those. Anywhere.
Okay, this is weird. I don't know why this is, but for some reason I can get an audio output from the Mac with an NDI. I can't get an audio and a video together in a single output to vMix.
I have no
idea why. I mean, I'm using screen converter on this thing. Excuse me, scan converter. And it just says capture desktop, show cursor on desktop.
I think that may be out of date because
it is the latest.
Is it?
So
I thought they changed the name of that scan converter to something else. So maybe you have the latest scan converter, but it's called something else. I don't know.
I've got the whole set of the latest tools, so it's got the whole thing on here.
Okay.
But okay, there's virtual input, which I want. There's video monitor to monitor stuff, test patterns, router for routing sources, and access manager, and scan converter, prevent computer display application as an NDI output. But I want audio and video, not just video.
Does it have all the permissions?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was the first thing that I checked. Okay.
I've got a whole bunch of. Oh no. Back up. No.
You know what? Screw it.
Oh, right in the face.
Oh, I'm back here. I should.
Oh yeah. I mean, next time you make it back there, do a cheese
Let's talk
save.
about decibel by process.org.
Right. I gotta figure. How do I do that?
Hold control and type in anywhere.
Control.
If that works for the classic version.
You know what? I'm just gonna add. I'm just gonna add the thing and put it in a separate layer.
What's that?
Oh,
I have to figure out which of my modifier keys is control, because I'm running this because I'm using a Linux tablet to emulate Mac OS. So I'm not so.
See, emulation and an emulation.
Alt is command. The meta is option. So I guess control must be control. If control is the one I want to use. So control, what's the phrase?
Anywhere. Oh no.
No.
Well, try it again. It does take me a few times to do some of the codes right.
And you have to hold it down while you type the whole word, right?
Yeah, you have to hold control down while you type the word.
Are you sure it's not a different modifier? Like, say if I do
pretty sure
option.
because I used more than just anywhere in my playthrough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely not command. I don't know.
God, were you going to erase that file?
No.
She was gonna race her drive.
Well-
Oh, no.
Oh wait, no, that's not control. That's hyper. Sorry.
Oh, good. Come
Oh
on,
wait, no.
come on.
I want to use that control because I don't
What's
know.
this Alt F4 I hear everyone talking about? Okay, I just added separate sources and put it in together as a layer. So I think I got it. But for this to work, I've got to minimize my screen and then switch over because I'm sharing my whole screen. And right now I'm viewing my whole screen of a whole nother computer. So I don't want to end up with stream inception, which actually here, tell you what, do you want to try it for a sec?
Yeah, okay. Aaliyah, can you hold on a second?
Okay.
I don't know. She can keep going. I mean, it's no big deal. But I want you to see if you're seeing what I'm seeing.
Yes, your VMix stream.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Isn't that great? Yeah, because I'm sharing my whole screen in this thing. Yep. Now let's see if I can get the audio to work. Hold on. Okay, I gotta. There we go. Okay, unfull screen into that. Okay, tell me if you hear any of this.
Overs. Unix soundtracks.
Okay, you can hear it?
Yep.
Okay. See, I can't. Let me change monitoring. Yeah, switch that to E. But,
it's like one of those ASMR marketing video voices.
Oh, was it?
Phoenix Technologies.
It was a product called Decibel. It's basically decibel meters for your Mac.
Need meters. Decibel is the first metering system.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Okay, so you hear that?
Yeah, we heard that.
Okay, so let's see if I can get the game up and working and if you can hear it. Hold on. Because the moment you hear it, you're going to know what it is.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that, it gets stuck in your head.
Was it the same game of the last audio clip you played, or was that a separate thing?
Which game was that?
No, I mean, you played some audio that wasn't part of the game, and I was like, oh, what was that? And you were like, oh, I'm doing a thing.
Oh, no, that was something else. That was something else.
Right,
okay.
You could do a whole screen where actually you just play audio only from old games and then make somebody guess what the game is.
Hey, yeah, do you want to play?
I would love that game.
Name that favorite game? All right, well, see, the thing is, I'm hoping that Narc, the moment he hears this, he's not only going to be able to instantly identify it, but he's going to have the song stuck in his head all day.
Could be true, or I will just completely brain fart, not remember it at all.
Oh, if you do, I'm gonna cry because we played this a lot. We had screaming fights over this game. I mean, there were shots that I made in this game that literally you were like, "How did you do that? That's impossible! How did you do it?" I mean, oh my god, the screaming and the yelling on this.
Okay, I
can't tell you how often it was, but it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. So okay, I think I got it. But I got to switch over real quick.
Okay.
And then do it. Okay. Minimize that full. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, yes. Do you want me to just pick it now? Do you want me to just say it now?
Nope, not yet.
No, I see it.
Can you hear it, though?
Oh, yeah.
Is it too loud?
It's too fast.
Is it?
It's also mirrored.
Well, no, there's a top and the bottom. There's two players because it's on a single screen.
I mean, it's mirrored left to right.
Oh shit! Because my cam is. Okay, hold on.
That's okay. No, it was mirrored on my end.
Okay, let me see if I can get a slower version.
Yep. So no, sorry. I mean, I did know as soon as
that might be the PAL one.
Yeah, I did know as soon as I saw the logo. And yeah, we did play a lot of that. In fact, actually, I killed one of our Commodore 64s with this.
Oh, remember?
Yep.
Because I think I was trying to get Dad to play. Because remember he stopped playing games with us kind of after the Atari 2600.
Oh, please, he stopped playing after Frogger. I tried to get him into one driving game once, and he just couldn't.
I know the feeling.
And I think I had this set up in the living room, connected to the living room TV, and had the whole thing running. And he came home late from work, and I think I had put the keyboard part on top of the power supply, and it fried itself. Those power supplies are actually very sensitive and unreliable.
Oh. Okay, so are you seeing the gameplay though?
Oh yeah, we saw the gameplay. Yeah, I knew it was Ball Blazer just from the logo.
The music logo is just so iconic.
Yep. Great game.
Oh, geez, dismissed. I'm so out of practice though. But oh, come on, there were shots. I mean, we would do like across the map like that, and you'd get it. And you'd be screaming.
You can just
How
get
did
lucky.
you get
You can just get lucky. It's very possible.
Oh yeah, and then of course there's the shoving it in like that.
Yep,
You know, you just kind of
drag it in.
push against the edge.
Yep.
So anyway, so I got
It'd be
this
nice
off of
to
opening
figure out a
new.
way to make that work, or a game like that. I'd love to see them make an internet capable game version of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Leah, apologies for the interruption.
Yes. Okay. By all means, continue on with the thing. I just wanted to say A, if Narc remembered, and B, that's the kind of nostalgic type stuff that I would love to get into more of, because with the emulators, and this of course is just the first one I tried because this one was the most robust. I mean, it covers everything from arcade to, you know, Wonder Swan. So there's a lot that it can do. But it doesn't do Amiga. It doesn't do Commodore. So those are the other two emulators I want to try. And because I talked to Narc before about getting back all the games we grew up playing. You know, there's only.
Oh my gosh! What?
I think you're getting
That
ball
was
blasted.
awful.
Yeah,
That
not
took like
good.
half my health in that one ambush.
That's a bummer.
That is a
But
bummer,
yeah, but
dude.
getting all of literally every single game that we used to grow up with and being able to play them on the cheapest Mac Mini today that I literally got for $450 to me is quite spectacular. But here's the cool thing. Apparently there is not only a keyboard mapper, but also a driver for the Xbox Elite controller.
Oh, nice.
So theoretically, I should be able to get that controller adapter and this, because this actually syncs in Bluetooth just fine. I already tried it. It works. So I can get that onto the Mini, and literally having this, and I haven't even put Steam on it yet. So theoretically I could put Steam on it, load up all the Steam games that it runs. Because supposedly there is, they're supposedly doing a native version for the Mac to run on the new Apple Silicon for
Whoa,
No Man's
nice
Sky.
dodge.
So if we can get that working and whatnot, yeah, I wouldn't even need any of the PCs at all. So
That nightmare totally helped you on that sludge.
I saw that. Yeah. Just sludge around here somewhere. Oh.
Oh, get that magazine out of your cedar box.
That's not. Oh, yeah. Okay.
that's not a thing.
Well,
No. He was right.
Deca asks, what do you guys think about Xbox allowing Steam on their console? Is that an actual rumor or announcement?
Act of desperation. For the longest time, I think they're either exploring possibilities or they might actually do it. But see, it really comes
that's a
down
straight up surrender. I mean, is what it is.
a total,
yeah, it is.
total
it would
surrender.
Be a total straight up surrender.
Absolutely. And you know what? They should have done it years
oh.
ago. They could have saved billions. And this is something I
I'm
talked to Narco with about several
I'm not
times.
saying they shouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We just came across what
We
looks
found
like
a
another
dead guy.
American.
A dead American
another-
soldier.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so we're gonna do a Southern accent? What are we doing?
No, I'm just gonna stick with Elvis. It's fine.
He's got to charge the crystal here.
Well, thank you very much.
We gave you up for dead after the drop. I'm glad you made it. I wish I could help you. This is Ed. Who do I look like? Sorry, I guess it must be sort of hard to tell.
What about the drop?
The mission started out bad and only got worse. We had a horrible getting this far down, and it only gets worse.
How
I think he
worse?
forgot a word in that sentence. I don't
Oh,
know anything
okay.
about that.
Oh,
Was there? What was that? Horrible
No,
time
okay, that's the
for?
same.
How about death?
Let's
Yep,
see
that's-
that again. I accidentally triggered one of the doors after we came down the ladder. One of those green things cooked me. The guys carried me here.
Oh.
Green. Yeah, one of those killed me. I'll never see Anna again. Promise me you'll call her when you get back.
Oh.
I make
Hey, when you
make
get
out
back,
without you.
I'll call your
I'll call you
folks.
folks.
Don't joke with me, man. Please call her.
I called her
Maybe-
twice last night.
Deca said, ask about the bomb. Did we do that already? We lost John a few hours before I died, and that left Steven, Greg, Jason, Darren, and Sean. Greg was the
You know
only
what? I'm
one I
gonna
ever
write
saw
these
again.
names
And these are
down.
all devs, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
ask.
these
It's
are
like,
literally all devs. Greg is
I'm-
almost certainly Greg Kirkpatrick, Jason
Yeah.
Jones.
Yeah.
well,
That
see,
makes
my
sense.
question is, are we going to run into dead Marines that have those names that we're going to need to ask about other people and yada, yada,
Probably.
yada?
It would make sense.
Okay. So, yeah, so maybe we should write these things down.
I just did. I've got them in a notepad, which you don't see because it's not in the emulator.
Decker wants
Yep.
us to ask about the bomb.
We'll get there.
Gref. Yes, ask about Gref.
Greg.
About 10 minutes after everybody left, I saw Greg come running through here. He was carrying the bomb.
Oh, there we go. The bomb?
Bomb.
The bomb?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's what either one of them prompts that. I don't remember what happened to John. I'm starting to forget lots of things.
You didn't forget about
Say
your
that
wife.
again. I don't know what happened to him or most of the others for that matter. Yeah, I think it's gonna
Okay,
be
good.
for all the other names. It's just gonna be
It's being
that.
thorough. Anything else that people? I go back
Dr.
to
Strangelove. Ask him about that.
I don't know anything about that. This is Ed. Who do I look like? Oh, I already said that.
Oh, not job. It's sorry, different game.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dr. Strangelove,
I've been playing another game that has the same conversation mechanic.
Oh,
really?
But there the triggers are name or look, name, and job, not yeah.
Oh, sounds vaguely
Oh,
ultimate.
the only
no,
other-
and that must be Exile 3, that thing you were showing before.
Yeah, that
right?
was the one I was showing you earlier.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely like
one-
a late 80s, mid 80s kind of thing.
The only one I remember that has this mechanic that I played was Spaceship Warlock.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I hate the doors in this place. Half of them don't open, but the half that does open makes you wish they'd all stay shut.
Oh man, sounds like a Randall. They don't know he's not going to
Randall?
respond to that.
Well,
But I know.
no, because they don't have a time machine.
They haven't made it yet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just thought I just had to.
That's like millennials watching.
Should we look up on a page to make sure we're not missing anything?
If you like, while you
Yeah.
do that, I'm going to search his body.
Just to make sure.
That
Yeah,
sounds
no,
good to
things
me.
like that remind me of millennial YouTubers watching the spy that shagged me and thing that James Bond was ripping off that movie. Which happens a lot. It's like, oh my God, James Bond, it totally ripped off the spy who shagged me. It's like, no, that's not how time works. So yeah.
He had nothing good on him. Oops.
Well, we're in a, underground maze and a pyramid. What good stuff would he have other than bullets?
He
A
could have
working
grenades.
M16.
Actually, is there one in the game? I mean, I don't know how
There
good the
is.
weapons get.
Never been
Not,
fired. Only
not
been
an
dropped once.
M16.
No, there's no M16. There's we'll get another weapon later.
There's no M203, is there?
Conversations
Nope.
with the
We get-
dead.
Yeah, we do have ammo for a grenade launcher, and there's another group of people that'll have the weapon. when we get to them.
Okay. Well, it's funny. No, speaking of Dr. Strangelove, do you know that the Russians actually did have a doomsday system like that?
Yes.
I find that absolutely hysterical.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
Yep.
No,
Ow.
Oh no.
tell me my wife.
Oh,
I
we
said
didn't.
hello.
We didn't make a cheaty. Wait, did we figure out how to cheaty save, or are we not cheaty
No, we did
saving 'cause
not figure
couldn't
out how to
cheaty
cheaty save.
We need to figure out how to GD save.
Okay.
Isn't control as a modifier something that some systems don't let you remap?
Oh wait. Oops.
Or they don't like to
That may
remap.
be that may be an old piece of information. I don't know.
I put that in the wrong bag.
No.
Yeah, the red velvet bag has an infinite weight limit, so throw all the crap in there. I'm using the canvas bags to organize the ammo. All right.
Oh, I also did hear some troubling, terrible news. Apparently this happened a while ago. You know the game that we saw on live access Steam or early access Steam? That was basically those little like Roblox figures running around shooting everybody. It was really fun.
Oh, I hate
Apparently,
redirects.
the devs of that have like abandoned it and like taken the money and run. It's like not getting any updates. Nobody is doing anything with it, and it's basically gone on a long list of early access abandonware to screw people over, and it's kind of a real bummer because that game was kind of fun. I was looking forward to trying that out, and we never did. We never got around to it.
Well, download all the movies in Cinemax you can off of YouTube before Bungie takes their marathon offline.
Oh man, I'm starting to have to think about doing that with movie reactors because everybody and their cousin now is getting copyright stricken. It like as soon as it pops up in a feed, if you don't download it right away, in 10 minutes it's gonna get pulled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
if you guys see a rune and I don't, please let me know.
Okay.
Yes.
Scream rune.
It's
moving right for us.
You know what? Maybe I should keep the MP41 up until I find one.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah,
how much ammo do you have for it?
Not a whole lot, but still. How to get to a secure location. I was too close to him. I can't back up fast enough.
I got one on me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you get flanked. That rotation speed is awful. Can we mod that? Can we cheat?
What we could do is we could reduce the spawn rate of the enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That reduces the challenge.
For the labyrinth, that would be a
Yeah,
blessing.
I'm honestly tempted to do that.
Well, some rooms I can understand.
We did miss a couple of parts of the conversation with it.
Oh, did we?
Nothing huge though.
Well, we'll find him again because I haven't got to him in this.
Yeah.
Is it flavor or
plot?
Flavor.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can show.
I was trying to back myself against a wall, and I forgot the wall was a door.
Oops.
I got another magazine.
Going to go all John Vooey on your ass.
Okay. This is risky, but I'm gonna go all the way. Okay.
I just figured if Bungie's cheating with artwork, we can cheat with rotation speeds. So yeah, Dark, you have some feelings about the current state of Bungie affairs and having to deal with their creative pipelines, having the mistaken system of utilizing other people's work accidentally for the not one, not two, not three, but fourth time.
Yeah, let's be honest here. It's not accidental.
No,
it's not. I ain't buying
it. After you've done it that many times.
Yes, and your major art staff are all following the artist and or artist group.
This is not a good room. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love that employee is no longer with us, so he's the one who put it in the pile, so it's taken care of.
That it's always that.
Hey,
but
can you tell us who that employee is so that we don't hire him? No,
not only
that employee doesn't exist.
No, I don't necessarily think that you should then dox your outgoing employees that you're throwing under the bus for this. I think what it means, though, basically, is that either you're hiring people who are willing to do that instead of doing their own work, which is your fault, or the work you're assigning people is on such a schedule and demand that it can only be done by doing that, and that is also your fault.
See, the thing is, the supervisors don't want to take responsibility for the staff, their teams, their groups, their whatever. But see, the thing is that I think they got into a pattern of denial and lack of responsibility, saying, hey, this worked once, let's do it again. And by getting, quote, outsourced companies, for all we know, because we haven't been able to talk to these employees directly, or at least gotten the direct feedback of those circumstances from themselves. We don't know what instructions they were given. You know what I mean? For all we know, they were told, hey, grab all the cool art that you want, throw it in a pile of for people to play around with, and send it off to so-and-so.
I doubt that. And I certainly, like,
Well, that was an excuse they used once.
I don't
that,
think
that artwork that wasn't theirs got put in a pile that everyone apparently had access to, and people poking out of the pile didn't know it wasn't theirs. That was the excuse.
Yeah, to supposedly gain inspiration from. Like, I find it very plausible to believe, for instance, that the art director was following that social media account, that they saw those Tumblr posts, that they were aware of this art, and they very may well have told one or more people, we want something
check this out.
like that. This is our vibe. This is what
we're going for.
What we're looking at. And then either the person who was doing this then was either more inclined to just start by putting that in, either as a placeholder or claiming it that it was owned. But there were also things like there was text that attributed it to that group.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that was
the group's logo.
That was then distressed. And the thing is,
the actual group name.
Yeah, like if you just saw the thing by itself with the distress, you would not automatically know what it is. But once you've seen the original, it's like, oh, it's very obvious that that's what this is. It literally had the name of the project and the group that was doing it on this.
It had minimal manipulation. Yeah, it had minimal manipulation, and at least one slide was completely unaltered. They simply faded out the text, or slightly faded out the text name of the group in a block. The rest of it is identical copy paste. Okay, so not only are they plagiarists, but they're lazy plagiarists. So trying to pawn off all that on an employee from an outsourced company, now, blah, 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 maybe does not alleviate your responsibility of it ending up in your game. Yeah. It had to go through pipelines of supervisors and groups and approvals and yada, yada.
Now a very charitable interpretation, one that they probably do not deserve and that I would not otherwise bring up, might have been that, because remember, originally, I think the alpha was supposed to be pretty narrow, pretty closed, under NDA, and not streamable. So I wonder if at one point they were a point in their pipeline where they still had a bunch of art in the build that they considered to be placeholder, and that artists took a bunch of their inspiration materials and were literally shoving it into the game, figuring, I'll take it, I'll do something about that later. I will make my own version of that later. I will disguise it a little better later.
If it was a box or a building, a device, a gun, a single item, or say a wall or what, I could potentially believe that.
All right, let's just
the
get
sheer
this guy's
volume of what they've put in makes that argument impossible to me.
Yeah, let's get this guy's missing triggers here. So I think he's
is this the same
guy? This is the same Didrin. Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. There was another one after okay, so after this bit, if I ask
what did you
Yeah, can you just start with place? Because we don't know.
Wait a minute. Whoa. You just typed in joke and said, okay, bad joke. What, is Anna not real?
Probably not.
I don't
no, the joke is a response to the Somalia line, which is a response to the place prompt.
Oh.
He's not even married, poor deluded Joe.
Place. Well, no, the joke was a response to the Anna. This is the Anna line.
Yes, but joke, but you're pulling joke from that, and the joke doesn't respond to this. Joke is a response to the response to place.
Place.
Because he said, I'd rather be in Bosnia or even Somalia rather than be dead at the bottom of this hole. And then if you type Bosnia,
you'd rather be in Somalia.
Okay, bad joke.
Yeah, that's okay. See, that's a little 90s geopolitical American military.
Yeah,
I'd rather be doing my interventionism somewhere else. Rather than at the bottom of this hole.
But it does 90s data.
So and as I said, that is a more charitable interpretation of the situation than Bungie deserves. But you could
say that was seriously generous.
Somebody trying to meet a deadline put that in there.
Is that the only extra prompt?
That was the only one that I saw.
Okay.
It was place and Bosnia and
I can imagine
things and
the newsletter for Pathways of Darkness.
Hooked and Promise.
The developer who put these jokes in didn't tell us about these jokes, and he has since been gone from the company.
Yeah, unpleasant sensation, I can assure you. And what was the other one? Oh, yeah,
The person responsible for the sacking the people has been in fact sacked.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about Anna. So this is like, okay, that makes me feel better. You got to make it out now. Don't forget.
Hi.
Okay, I think that's all of them.
Yay!
So it's possible that somebody under pressure put those in and figured, okay, I will have time to fix this because this alpha's not going wide. I won't get caught yet. I have time to either hide my tracks better. Oh God, you got one behind you now too.
I know.
Or
See, the thing
pull it
is,
out and to stick something else in. But of course, then they basically said, "Oh no, it's okay." They relaxed the NDA, so it wasn't on NDA. So everybody was streaming it, which means the number of eyeballs that could see it was going to go up, which means it was inevitable that somebody was going to catch this.
I'm wondering if some art guy or this guy and everything was literally like, pucker factor 10 when he realized everybody in the world was going to be seeing this. Or maybe they just thought
this
no
is
one
a
would notice.
bad point, but
Yeah, so call it bad
It's something.
point. Yikes forever.
Yikes forever.
yeah, see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yikes.
my God, are we
Owie.
going to survive that?
It wasn't merely yikes forever, it was yikes immediately.
Yeah, yikes instantly.
Oh, okay.
Are we going to be in a death loop? Yeah, I think we are.
But not
No,
necessarily.
keep moving. It's still up.
I got to get past that corner. That's the thing.
Run, Forrest!
Yeah.
Shane Bishop's in the chat. Hi, Shane. Shane has a good question. Why are you giving them the benefit of the doubt, Narc? Because I'm with Shane. I'm
wanted to
past
say,
benefit of doubts.
I prefaced that by basically saying this was the most the most charitable possible theoretical interpretation, which they did not deserve. That's all I'm saying. I can basically like that was the best possible interpretation of the situation, and even that is bad and unacceptable.
Oh, no.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Because
and the thing is, I want details specific to the person, not because I want to dox him or get his name and his address and hate mail or whatever else. I just want details of the situation. I want to know how old he is, how long he was at this extra company, what is this extra company's name, what company is he working with now, has he had a history of this with any other company, and what exactly internally did Bungie do if and when they discovered that this happened? Did they happen to it and that's why he was let go? Or was this happened afterwards and he just happened to have already moved on?
I don't think we need any of that, honestly.
I want all of that.
It is the industry's own problem if it continues to let people to do this and get away with it, or conversely,
the thing is,
if it creates a working environment in which case deciding to do this is the only way you can do your job.
Right, but see, the thing is, all it does is make a system for lack of responsibility to allow people to steal stuff without having to pay for it.
The personal choices and character of that individual, to me, are rather irrelevant. The people responsible are their bosses, periodly. And the people responsible for this ultimately are Sony.
I would totally agree, but see, the thing is, details that this person might actually be able to tell us would be what instructions he was given, what was the culture in this environment or team? Was this expected, or did they flat out just say, yeah, just grab whatever, and he didn't have to worry about plagiarism because they said, we're not going to care. I want to know what this person was doing and whether they did it on their own, whether they were following instructions.
You're never going to get this person to blow up their entire career. There's no incentive to do it.
Hey, have him, change his voice and his face on the news. I don't care. I'm not trying to ruin his life or his career. I just want deets on the sitch.
But it would be ruined if that information got out to the public, though. So there's no way for them to give that only to you.
Oh no, I want to give it to the public. I want everyone else to scrutinize it.
Yeah,
oh wait, I'm alive.
That would result in there's no way around that.
We don't need his name. We don't need his face. Or again, I'm assuming it's a he. It could be a she. I don't know.
You can't give out a third of the information you asked for without that person being individually identified.
Maybe.
Okay.
You only need a single location and a couple of employers, and the internet will cross-reference and figure out who that is. Whether they're right or not is almost irrelevant.
Well, they don't have to name other names and other people. All they would have to do is mention teams and supervisors. So
that's enough. That's enough. I mean, you probably only need to know the names of 2 of my bosses before you could figure out who I
not the
am.
names. No, not the names specifically. Simply saying boss number 1 and boss number
all right.
2. Okay, I'm not trying to dox anybody here. I'm not trying to put them on a stake. I just want more details to eliminate the rampant speculation that people are going to snowball with based on absolutely no solid facts whatsoever. So hearing Bungie's corpo speak to cover their own asses is one thing. Well, let's hear the other side of it is my thing. And we haven't. We're not going to. It's highly unlikely we will.
And again,
And I think that that's wrong and that sucks.
If this was an isolated incident, the specifics might matter more. If this, but
it's not.
But it's not. So if this has been done in 3 or 4 different cases, then the culture and management of Bungie are responsible, regardless of the individual differences.
Not just Bungie, because this is going to set a precedent to any company that wants to steal artwork from people. That, hey, you know how you get around it? This is how you do it. It becomes a pattern of behavior and a replicated pattern in other companies to do the exact same thing.
That already exists. The thing that's notable, the thing that's notable. No, I mean, like all the way down to Steam Greenlight asset flips. Which may be less questionable legally, but in certain creatively are pretty bankrupt. I would say what's notable about this is actually not the specifics of what actually happened in terms of who put whose art into what. It's the idea that even at the top of this food chain, for Sony, the platform holder and the winner of the most recent generation of console wars, owning Bungie, the managers of one of the only successful live service games, is doing this. And doing this, engaging in this as a pattern of behavior, not merely as in an isolated incident. That's what's interesting about this. That's why it's relevant, because we know other companies do this. We know that small devs do this, even small, well-intentioned devs.
It's not a team of 5 people trying to get out of their mom's basement. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar company.
Not anymore.
So,
and to me, I'm sorry. The question I ask is, people are all over. They're all over the art director wanting to know, hey, you were following those those artists on Twitter. You should have known. You should. And people are like, well, maybe you didn't. People are busy. To me, I'm more like, where's Jason Jones? Is this what Bungie's world dominance looks like?
I know why that is blocked.
I think it is. I think they finally cracked the formula of what they wanted to do to make their money, and I don't think they care how they get it anymore.
I think the problem is the second wave. The problem is that the people who didn't get a payout when either Microsoft bought them or when they went independent and had an injection of new cash and got spun off, those people wanted a payout for being sold to Sony.
No, I'm still here.
And they could only get it by puffing up the prospects for what the studio was going to do next. Because notice the difference is, right, when Halo was as old as Destiny is now, Bungie was negotiating a way out of Microsoft to stop doing Halo and to make a new thing and to be independent. And now what are they doing? They're going into back being owned by a big company, doubling down on continuing their existing franchise, and apparently trying to do a second one kind of on the cheap. Like,
yes.
Like,
well, see, that's why
how much money was would it have been just to license all of that group's art?
I mean, and that comes to one of the underlying motivations that was listed in a video I watched. Sony. Yeah, they were talking about how everyone and their cousin wants to make extraction shooter live services. Because no, they do. Actually, there's a lot of them that are doing it, and there was a really interesting argument about it, about there being a gap in the casual and PUBG style shooters that they're emulating but not replicating, because apparently the difference between the two, and supposedly the biggest difference they're talking about,
Royale non-extraction shooter.
But see, that's the point. They want battle royale money in the extraction shooter thing, because they think that the casuals will go more for that than the other. Because they don't want to spend 50 hours in trying to get good at this rather than just spending 20 minutes with their buddies.
I agree with Paul Tassi on that. I think they're just wrong. I think maybe somebody at Bungie figured that the next innovation in genre they could do, right? Because I think that, they did do a lot with real-time strategy by kind of flipping to real-time tactics, for Myth, and the adaptations they made to the first-person shooter to make them work on consoles for Halo, and then kind of the mix of gunplay and melee and Oni. They figured like Bungie's always doing something new and slightly different. Oh wow, that is
Wow. That was a lot.
That was
Wow.
a yeah.
What other? Okay,
Okay.
it may be time to ask at some point, what other cheats do we have access to?
Well, rotation speed
Okay,
would be
can I
the
make a
first one.
suggestion? Can I make a
Is
suggestion?
there God mode?
I will say
Might be a
this.
potion
Are we?
time.
Okay.
Oh
What?
no, those potions are invaluable.
You say that, but we also can just make more.
Yeah, can we just replicate them?
Yeah,
we
we can.
cannot put them in the cedar box.
Yeah, but I have a save editor.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can just make as many as we want.
Okay.
I mean-
I was suggesting a different cheat anyway, so I'm good. We're good. Do what you want.
I'm thinking replicator time.
Now, I
Now-
forget what the different potions are. I think the
Blue is cure and heal if you're not poisoned.
Computer,
Okay.
blue, clear potion, please.
red is something helpful, right?
Red gives you, I believe, like a bullet time.
Okay.
I don't think we want this to go
Brown-
any slower.
brown is
Brown
like
is
poison,
for-
right?
Yeah, that's for clearing a puzzle that we
Yeah, I know what that
encounter
is.
later.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to explain
you
that
know
one to me.
exactly what
Yeah.
that one is.
We're gonna use that later specifically.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll probably use the clear blue potion for this. Oh, frack, that's
Clear
not
to
how I wanted to do
proceed.
that.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
How did you want to do it?
Okay. What I need to do is I need to get what I can from the doorway first. Or did I save after I did that? I think I saved after I did that. Okay. So I'm not as far behind as I thought. Oh, you know what else I can do? Have alternative. Trigger ready. Wow.
Nice.
All right.
Well done.
Nice.
Thank you.
So at some point, like I don't think there's going to be nearly as much fallout from the art theft thing, despite what people on social media think, as it is from what looks like the impending failure of the game. I kind of agree with Paul Tassi. If they're aiming to mainstream extraction, I do not think that's going to work. I don't know that it's possible at all, but I don't think that game's doing it. So like if the new Marathon ends up going the way of Concord, the question is, what does anybody do next? Now, obviously, the nuclear option for Sony is to basically disband Bungie, break them down as an independent entity, quote unquote, and merge them into their main game studio operations, which is a possibility. Maybe they would leave the Destiny unit alone as long as it matters.
Nope. Okay.
Now,
I got to do that sooner. Okay. Okay. I'll get it.
one very ironic thing is that a very normal thing for a studio that gets bought up by either an equity group or a platform holder to do that Bungie has never done would be to start doing remakes and remasters. Bungie's never done one, even the ones that might be the easiest and most logical to do. There's no PC port of Destiny 1. There's no remake. All the remakes and remasters of Halo have essentially been done by outside studios or under the leadership of 343 and not Bungie itself.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Found a pistol here.
Obviously, Bungie doesn't have access to do anything with Halo anymore, but it would be a big heel turn to basically look at the extraction shooter and either look at the reaction to it or look to let's say it comes out when they're planning on having it come out and it doesn't do well and they shut it down. Like, I think you'd actually get a big cheer from portions of the internet if you said, you know what, forget that. We're now just going to we're going to remake the original Marathon as a single player game with a multiplayer component instead of as a games as a service extraction shooter. Oh, that was so close to working. Yes. Oh no.
Blackstar?
Nice.
Blackstar, we're getting hot audio on your end. How's it going, Leah?
I'll mute Blackstar for a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, like one of the things, and I forget whether it was Tassie or somebody else's video that was talking about it, that like people in the studio were basically saying people in the communities aren't digging this. What they want for Marathon is single player, and Bungie's leadership didn't want to do that. And I'm sure that's because it doesn't fit within the cost profile that they were developing. It seems, again, like I think they were really trying
Oh my God.
And also, if you think about it, like every time Bungie has rolled out a new property in the last 2 decades, it's always been kind of accompanied by a big talk about their tech, whatever their new tech is, right? I mean, like to go from Marathon to Myth, to go from Myth to Halo, to go from Halo to Destiny, and there's been no talk about it at all. And I think the reason why is because this is just content that's living on the current version of the Destiny engine. There's no technical innovation in what we're seeing go on. It's just Destiny multiplayer. Even some of the stuff I'm noticing, Blackstar, did you notice that some of the player actions in the alpha seem to be accompanied by
straight out of Halo
by hand motions that were very much like what Guardians and Destiny do when they trigger the prismatic super.
Did you know that the robotic characters that you engage in AI jump exactly like elites in Halo? And I do mean exactly. I was watching alpha demo gameplay where they were shooting, engaging bots, and one dodged to the right jump exactly the way elites do in Halo. It literally looked like a copy and paste. So, yeah, that's not the only thing that they're copy and pasting along with the art. It really makes me wish somebody on the inside would come and say, you're not going to believe how much we're recycling here.
Well, probably.
Because I'm sure it's a lot.
I mean, if the collapse is coming, I'm guessing we'll get more of that the more that happens, right? The more it becomes clear that, that if Sony is going to shut them down, merge them into another studio, do something like that, then more of that will come out.
Who knows?
Less to
lose. To be honest, whether it happens or whether it's not, I don't have any skin in this game anymore. Anyway, I've said basically, I don't care what they put out anymore. I'm not giving them any more of my money, and that's the only real interactivity that they care about anyway, and what I'm going to be doing. So
okay, Shane brings up a point. Hey, a live service extraction shooter that's done well is Helldivers 2. It's also owned by Sony.
Yep.
As I understand,
which is weird. That means they've got 2 competing same projects in the same genre.
As I understand it, though, Helldivers is not an extraction shooter. Not the way Tarkov is, not the way Marathon is. I don't think
there's slight variations with all of them.
I don't think you lose loot in Helldivers. Again, I haven't played it, so I may be talking.
You can lose loot in Helldivers. I've played the game. I still play the game.
So wait, you can't. Yeah, see, you can or you can't lose loot in it.
You can lose loot.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But the thing is, there's always that, well, this one does this, and this one does that, and this one doesn't do it quite exactly this. There's going to be slight variations on themes on all of these things. It's kind of like drinks at the bar. People mix the martinis different in all kinds of different ways, but it's still a martini.
Okay, so I'm reading a debate in the Helldivers subreddit that is basically saying that the people are calling it an extraction shooter, and a bunch of people come out and say it's not.
Right. See, it comes to their personal view on what definition that fills.
Well, extraction shooters, you need to wait for an extraction. You all get in and you're extracted out.
Right. And for some people, that's enough as of a definition. But there are others that are way more pedantic, in particular, about the exactitude of certain game elements.
What items
I
in
have absolutely
Helldivers?
no idea what you're talking about.
As far as the genre or the game?
There's a lot of words that are coming out
Oh,
here, and
okay.
I don't know what any of them
So-
mean.
Okay. Have
So-
you heard of the
It's
genre
fine.
of
I'm happy
extraction
not
shooters?
knowing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Only in the context of people saying, "Oh, this game is going to be one."
Okay.
Oh, okay.
this
Leah,
is-
did you ever play or familiar with Diablo?
Nope.
All right. I'm trying to-
I knew whatever example you picked, her answer was going to be
Okay.
no, and I wanted you to ask.
Minecraft.
Yes, I play Minecraft.
Okay, so in Minecraft, depending on what the settings are, when a character dies, everything you had on your character's person drops into the world, and after a certain amount, despawns.
Right.
Okay. And Minecraft is supposed to also be persistent in the idea that, like, the stuff you collect, materials, tools, objects, over the course of your playthrough are supposed to accumulate with you. And so you risk losing those things. But in most action-oriented games, like Halo is a shooter. They give you 2 guns. When you die, the world resets and you play that bit over again.
Right.
But
That's how Marathon works.
yes, but some of these games now are combining the gunplay action of games like Halo and Marathon with an item loss mechanic more like Minecraft. So in other words, like, the purpose of playing Marathon is that you are a scavenger collecting items, but you must, at a certain point in time, reach a certain location on the map to quote unquote extract, to leave the map. And that is the only way you get to keep the items you've scavenged. If you die prior to that, then the items that were on your person are lost. Now you have basically offline storage, so kind of like having a chest for your Minecraft character where you have a home that's safe and you put stuff in the chest, and that won't be lost if you die because it wasn't on you, it was in the chest.
It
So-
seems like a weirdly specific thing to define a game's genre by.
It's designed to be PvP. In other words, basically the idea is that you have either free-for-all individuals or teams
that
are
people
competing to try to extract the maximum amount of loot from a given area and escape with it alive. I think it's also supposed to work against the idea that people can easily succeed in action games just by behaving as if there's no penalty for death, because in most cases there isn't. Like, the penalty for death in a multiplayer match of Marathon or Halo is very low. It's a respawn timer.
I guess this might be important to people who play games for, like, I guess those action or competition reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, not only
which
that.
is not something I play games for.
Right. Yeah. You're going to have a hard time relating. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, now, another particular aspect of this, of which people are very, very divisive on, is
Amber's
also
chat.
proximity voice. And people saying,
Yes.
well, if I don't have proximity voice in this, then it's not a real extraction shooter.
Yes,
They're saying the
they
criteria
want-
is required for
They
that.
want prox voice for 2 reasons. One of them is more
Shit
legit than
talking.
the other. One of them is just shit talking. Others, they literally want to taunt and harass people for being worse at the game than they are. The
See-
slightly more legitimate interpretation is that they want it for negotiation. In other words, the idea basically here is that it is possible, since there are 2 extraction points, it's possible for everybody to extract. It's only up to the players. Would I rather kill that player and take their stuff, but I risk dying myself if I do it? And they without proximity voice, they can't manage this negotiation.
No, to me, it seems like, I mean, as someone who doesn't play these games, these are all just individual mechanics that you could incorporate into any sort of game. Like, I don't see why it has to be part of a certain genre to have A, B, and C.
Well,
And-
okay, well, put it
Well,
this way.
keep in mind, they're defining aspects to it the same way a first-person shooter is a defining aspect of a first-person shooter. You know what I mean?
I think
An MMO is a
Kinda.
defining factor of an MMO. This
Players
is simply
like
a subgenre of shooters that has a specific mechanic of A, specific loot that I want to get that I'm either finding or killing for, and B, the only way I keep it is I get the fuck out of Dodge before somebody else.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So depending on how you would see it in either a multi or a single player environment, there are, the same things in a single player where you're running around, you're shooting bad guys and collecting stuff. And if you die, you potentially could lose that stuff. But in here, it's in a competitive environment where you or teams are fighting against the same loot pool, the same weapons everyone else is carrying. But if you're better and kill more people and grab their stuff and run away, you win. You die, you lose all of your shit. And a lot of this shit, depending on how much they care about it, could be incredibly important to them.
Well,
they're going to rage quit when they lose that special whatever. So
I think
that's the risk and anxiety
now.
that they like for these things. For them, there's stakes. And for that's one of the hallmarks of the extraction shooter.
So I guess I kind of understand the genre now. It also sounds like something that I would absolutely hate.
Yes.
Oh, me too. When I heard that the marathon was going this route, Narc and I looked at each other and said, what the F? This is not something I want to play. And Marathon, from its history, does not seem like a good fit for it. It's weird. If
it was a multiplayer mode and it's multiple of multiplayer modes, I'd be all over it.
Right.
But not on its own.
In fact, supposedly there were arguments from mid-tier devs who were telling the higher ups, look, you're going to need a PvE element. You're going to need to have all these other things. And they apparently were supposedly ignored by upper management that said, go away.
Because I think
that's why they aren't there.
I think those things don't fit into the order, and the order was establish a second games as a service, a revenue model with minimum devotion of resources.
Totally, because they saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that right then and there of itself said, okay, there's a financial goal for this. They're not making a great game to make a great game. They want to make monies.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably
get back to because I just want to answer the thing that you asked first of all, which is why do gameplay mechanics become a genre? I think player preferences ended up driving that when either a gameplay mechanic is so part of the core experience that that's the part that the audience wants and they won't accept the game that doesn't have it, or if something is so disliked by the community that they won't put up with that mechanic being in the game and still play it. For instance, Fallout 76 was originally designed to be a mixed PvP and PvP. And basically, the biggest parts of the population basically rejected the PvP elements to the point where there's practically no PvP in the game at all. People opt out of it. They don't engage with it. They don't like it. And it has a reputation now of being like one of the absolute friendliest games to be in now, where you can jump in as a new player and the most likely experience you will not have will not be a person trying to kill you and humiliate you. It will be a person trying to give you multiple pieces of end game loot because they've got duplicates and they're trying to give it away.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a community thing.
Yeah.
But again, those are going to be incredibly rare because like Deca says, it's the
actually, like
the
one of the best weapons I have in Fallout 76 was given to me by another player.
Right. But you're not going to get that in Tarkov.
I don't think that can happen in Tarkov. If you want to get it in Tarkov, you're going to have to kill somebody for it. I mean, that's just the way the game works.
But that's my point. You may come up with an option to share it in Marathon or some of the other ones if they had proximity voice and they had the sharing option.
So
but the likelihood of running into that person is so incredibly rare. It would be like hen's teeth. The default reaction anyone has in a game when seeing somebody else is to shoot them.
Yeah, I get that. I've
So
I guess the closest thing that I've played to something like that is playing on 2B2T Minecraft.
Right. Well, to be honest, it's funny. The almost specific thing that Narc talks about happened in Destiny the original, once in a multiplayer game on one map against one team that we were against, that we had proximity voice on and actually had a chance to talk to them. And they turned out to be really nice guys. And we actually played a bunch of games together afterwards.
Yeah.
That happened once in 10 years.
Yeah. No, Bungie, of all the decisions they've made attached to this game, the one where they basically said we're not doing proximity voice is not the bad choice. I understand why people are complaining about it. Those people are just wrong. they don't want to deal with trying to moderate, and proximity voice just gives them more stuff they have to moderate.
Well,
they just want out of
well,
that.
again,
That's
it's the whole
entirely
casual aspect.
unpredictable.
They don't want complaints from kids that their little kid heard whatever when playing a game for 20 minutes.
But the game core mechanic, I would say basically the people who are approaching a game like Destiny with a Diablo / Pokemon attitude, which is I'm going to collect them all. My activity is going to be driven by doing all the activities and getting all the stuff is predicated on getting ready to keep it. If any time you went into a game, especially a multiplayer game, like if you went into a multiplayer game and any weapon you took into that and your character was at risk of being lost by a player death or a game loss, a bunch of your audience is just noping right out on that. There are people who want that risk because it's part of the excitement. But also I think like there's no weapon or item that's in Tarkov or Helldivers that's that exciting. You know, there's no,
or not to mention the fact.
I'm gonna start shooting again.
Yes, please.
Well,
let's go back to the game
I might just
playing.
Yeah. Well,
before I do, I just might point out that the point where I paused here.
Yeah, your health is nothing. Well, that's why I said we're in a death loop.
And you do have an incoming projectile, isn't it?
I do, which is why I'm going to
better drink that potion real quick.
Yeah, let's get back into this.
Is it instant? I certainly hope so. There we go. What was I going to say? Shit, there was a point I was going to make.
Wow.
Okay, I'm impressed.
Well, she's now down to half, but yeah, it just goes to show how much that they expected you to have to get through to make any progress in this, and it's a lot.
Oh, frack. Okay.
Yeah. How the bullets?
Yeah. That's not a good sound.
This is not a good sign, especially in this locale or this whole level.
Where the cedar bucks
Yeah,
go.
weren't we cheating lots of bullets? I thought we.
We were.
But if you're not paying attention to the shooting, though, you can draw the last magazine out of the cedar box and have none to duplicate.
Oh, okay. I see. I get it.
So this might be. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See, a lot of the defense mechanics of this to me all seem related to that rotation speed.
Yeah, and also I'm not as good at sidestepping as Jeyl is.
Oh,
Jeyl
really?
doing a
you
really
haven't
good job with the combat, yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Now, does it have the same Bungie mechanic mistake that if you do it diagonally, you actually make more rapid progress rather than just one direction? Okay.
Okay, this is a bad start. I'm just going to let this
guy. Wow, yeah, that was.
I appreciate the compliment, by the way.
Of course.
Oh, your gameplay's been great, Jay. Okay, I remember what I was talking about. Yeah, Destiny. And yeah, and you think about it, the problem also for them.
If you want, but I prefer not to.
Yeah, the problem for them, if you think about it, is that for the core Bungie fans, which have all been playing Destiny 1 and 2 for a decade, are definitely in the looter shooter category where they're hoarding everything.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to lose anything. So they've been training all of their fans to get all the things and keep all of the things.
Yeah.
Not go into a PvP environment where they're going to lose all the things.
But the solution to that, from a game design perspective, is to be more like
is
PUBG. In other words, put absolutely
new
ordinary, real-life weapons into your map and let players come in with nothing. So in other words, you can't really feel bad about losing a bunch of stuff because you died when it was just stuff you picked up on the way when you started the level with nothing. But once you try to combine the two things by basically saying, yes, build a collection of stuff over time, but also anything you use, that basically just means people are they're gonna hoard it like health potions, right? You're gonna get a good weapon, and then you're saying, well, that weapon's too valuable to fight with, so now I can't use it because if I use it, I might lose it. And they literally want you to fall to the bottom. Like they're literally using a gambling mechanic where they'll give you a bunch of stuff, they'll take it away, and then they'll make you do. Like the streamers I saw were just doing it. They were like, well, I got a bunch of loot and then I lost it, so now I gotta buy the in-game supply packs because I can't start the next game with nothing.
They talked about the genre of the people that were going to be playing this thing, and basically one of two things. One, which are the regular gamers of a certain age that have way too much time on their hands, and the others are the casuals that have a real job, a real life, and kids, and only do this occasionally every now and then. And they said those ones are the Battle Pass core targets because they want the decent stuff, but they have the money and disposable income to want to play decent with their kids on the weekend and don't want to spend X amount of hours trying to hoard up, good stuff to get good. So yeah, they're absolutely the shortcut financial target base. So they've thought a lot about this. They really, really have.
Is this a crystal situation here?
Yes, it should be. If I can get, thing is, I'm flying from too far away.
Would it not be prudent to try to find the earthquake crystal?
That's what I'm trying to do.
But it's not on this level.
Well, I don't know what level it's on.
It's on the level where the pods are.
Oh.
The exploding pods?
Oh, I thought we had to get back out to find it.
No, it's in the exploding pod room.
Okay, wait. Don't. We'll get there then. But, all right. Well, I'm gonna equip one of the other crystals and just try to be ready with that. I don't know what the range on them is really.
Yeah, well, my question is like, if you aim it at the room and there are enemies you can't see, does it only affect what you can see?
It affects a lot. Like if you can see them, it hits them.
That's how the
I think what Nark is saying is the effective range is eliminated if they're in the dark.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now the violet crystal also works like that.
Oh, yes. Lion of Cyborg is in the chat. And mentions, nice dig at Marathon Survive in the footage title. Yeah, that is Leah's game footage, but we're putting that title on top of that. So we've had a bunch of joke titles. That's just the last one. We're keeping that one for today. Yeah,
tell how many people in the audience that are listening or anybody that watches this afterwards.
I'm proud to be Leah for using this tactic.
Leave in the comments below if you want to have a Plagiarism Will Make Me God t-shirt, because I really want to make those.
Can we steal their art while we're doing it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally good. I'm going to call it Marathon with their symbol that I'm going to like turn slightly to the right. In fact, somebody I think actually typed that in the stream that the devs were explaining themselves in.
Oh yeah, see it doesn't.
And they were spamming it over and over again. Plagiarism will make me God. And oh my God, chat was blowing up. It was hysterical.
I saw that chat while it was happening. It was utterly depressing.
Oh,
I think
they earned every second of it.
Oh, Leah, I need to teach you how to strafe.
Yeah,
because I tell you, this room gave me a little trouble, but I was like,
yeah,
nailed him.
Jeyl the ninja.
How's that go again, Joe?
Hey, we're saving that. We're gonna put that on the audio board. Ninja Jeyl.
Yeah, I'm just eating everything here.
Yeah. Serpentine.
I'm just imagining the soldier walking backwards away from that sludge.
Yeah.
I have to remember to add to the soundboard. I pulled the sound file out. I found a way to how you search out for all the individual conversation clips in the Bethesda games. I pull out the quote at the beginning of Morrowind when the guard says, "This is where you get off." That was funny out of context.
Yeah, Cyborg says, yeah, advice for Leah. Strafe is Z and X in PID for some reason.
I know what the buttons are.
She's got to hone her technique, that's all.
Yeah, I don't have the muscle memory to use them properly. That's the thing.
Can you do it as a macro?
I could set that up.
Just saying.
I mean, I use Q and E for my strafing.
Well, Leah is one of those unique keyboard users, and I just thought to simplify things in her life and how she uses them, would that be helpful?
You know what? I wonder if I can set that up with quick keys.
There you
go. I'll use keystroke.
This I find hilarious. This is
I'm loving
software. This is a piece of software that I used every day at work. This was used to automate actions in Quark Express. So basically, when you had to have a thing where you needed to create a text box and you needed to link those text boxes of a certain size, and then you needed to create a rule that was offset that text box by a certain number of points, you would do that by basically having a bunch of chords,
Wait,
like
what the heck?
2 and 3 key combinations that would do those actions in Quark by pulling
How
items
is-
from a palette and putting them on the screen and then moving
What's
them.
going on, Leah? Talk to me.
When I'm pressing,
Sorry.
well, okay, I tried to do a thing where I would find, oh,
Get that. Enemy! Strafe!
yeah. I tried to do a thing where I bound the Z to colon, but instead it's making me go backwards.
Interesting. Is there something already that's being modified, or you're modifying a modification?
No,
But that's a semicolon.
hold on. Yeah, it is a semicolon.
Okay.
Oh no, okay, semicolon is just a normal backwards key. That's why that's not working.
Weird.
Okay. Can I rebind?
Oh, Cyborg says, yeah, is the soundboard a Discord thing, or does Mumble have one? I saw one of the former Kazils or Kazils.
The sounds we're hearing now
Stream on Twitch?
are system sounds in Leah's Mac OS emulator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a mist sound font.
Separately, we have a soundboard we've created, which just has a bunch of clips in it with stuff in
Yep.
it that we
Of games,
Okay.
movies, things like that. Yeah, we've never had a precise, clear
To
one,
have that
and of course the
backwards?
devices
They're
we have now that
everywhere!
we're using.
Ah!
See, that's one with the pop-ups. Actually using the Rodecaster Pros that we've got, they've got a panoply of not only different ones, but also triggering options of files that you would have on your computer. So if we want to modify and change and select and make our own, we've got a whole bunch to choose from on. How many buttons do we have? It's like
This isn't working.
4, 8, 16 or something, I forget. So we've got all kinds of different things for either voice
I think it's 12.
Modifications like this.
or to come
No,
up with our own
24.
sound
It's
effects
Four pages of 24 buttons.
all the time.
Ah!
So
Off keys.
we've got tons and tons of options. The ones we used to use, I used to use a bunch of them that were off the web that had simply piped through the computer. Narc had a bunch of them that he set up in, what was the program that you were using? That we used
I
on the
was
iPad?
using Kenku FM, which is a cross-platform program used by DMs in online games of Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
And I primarily did that because I was only doing stuff in Windows on the streaming side. The obvious choice for that kind of thing for me is QLab, but so since I have the Mac Mini now, I reconstructed the soundboard in QLab, so I have them both available at the moment.
Mhm.
No, I could rebind it from the Linux side if I can remember what the thing is, like XKB or something like that. I can't remember. So at the moment, it's very easy for me to strafe right. It's not easy for me to strafe. I mean, I can kind of strafe left, but
Are you saying you don't actually have access to a key that does the pure left strafe?
the left, the left strafe key is immediately next to my arrow keys on the right side of the keyboard, which is a little counterintuitive to use.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think her keyboard and her positioning on how she's controlling this is the most efficient for doing certain styles or certain types of
No.
movements.
No.
That I think is part of the issue. And that's why I thought the macro would help, because that way she could pick whatever key she wanted to do whatever
Yes,
combo she
that's what I
wanted
want to
that
do.
would be more convenient.
Mhm.
And that way she wouldn't have to do all kinds of other craziness
I
or
would
whatnot.
like to remember, but I don't. Doing it in the middle of stream, like trying to look up the thing in
Yeah,
the middle.
it's
I mean,
it's
that could be
try it
something
next
you guys
time.
could do while I'm playing.
Yeah, try it next time. Don't
Yeah,
kill yourself now.
Do we want to take our break now? Maybe I would give.
Oh,
some
maybe
time
that
to
could
it.
that could work.
It's about
Yeah,
that
it's
time.
a little after 3:30, so
Yeah.
Want to sing us out? Okay, so for those just tuning in, you're watching the Rampancy.net playthrough of Pathways into Art Theft. We'll be right back after this short break.
Okay, we are back
Hey, and
with Pathways into ResEdit.
yeah, during the
Yes.
break, I saw Liano Cyborg was asking about the colored dialogue boxes, and that is something that that I did with ResEdit. So you can actually go in and you can edit the dialogue boxes and how they
Oh man, it's
the
been so
colors and everything
long.
like that.
Oh, sorry, my
Very
camera was
easy
off.
to do. It's
All right.
so funny how you can tweak Mac OS.
Pathways into Darkness is looking sick in the
Oh
background.
yeah, that's because it requires to be in a 256 color mode.
Speaking of looking sick, Jeyl, did you end up getting the 4K of American Graffiti?
No. And
Ooh.
avoid it like the plague.
Why?
It is AI'd up the wazoo.
Oh,
It is
well,
a
you
terrible
can't-
transfer.
Oh, too bad.
You can't get around it, but
No,
I don't mind it that much.
it's not even a healthy. They didn't even rescan it. It's not a new 4K native scan.
I don't notice it from the couch.
Oh,
At some
And I'm
point,
a quality
But
whore.
my-
At some
I'm
point-
stuck.
someone's gonna release. I think. Oh,
I think. Are we getting sound?
yeah. Hold on, I turned
I can hear
turned
things.
it down.
Oh, did you?
Just in time for a zap.
Yeah.
Stripes. No, gosh.
I was
dang it.
almost there. I striped a little bit.
Casualty.
So
During the
close.
break, I did rebind my
Yeah, you got
my
you got the
Q and
keys
C
working.
keys.
Okay. Well, see
Yes.
now you've got the keys. Now you just need to refine your technique.
Yeah.
Sooner or
What about
later,
Sky?
someone's going to
Huh?
release an Ultra HD disc, and they'll find out that they did an upscale of a pirate copy of a movie. They downloaded off the internet because it was easier to do that. Like, we're already
Yeah.
there when the backwards compatibility versions of Nintendo games that they ship in devices they sell
Yeah,
is
are
worked
better in
by the
emulators.
Community, it's emulators. So
And they
like,
fix
at
all the
some point-
problems.
At some point, it'll be like somebody whose job it is to produce the next Blu-ray edition of something will find it faster to just pirate it and go than to than to go through the normal channels to find a legit copy of a thing.
There was a
And
YouTube
it's
video
sad
I
how
saw
it's come to that.
that basically said piracy is the answer, and they literally go down the litany of all the different things, from all the different services which are all pulling content that people have paid for, to the lack of regional availability, to all the different things about the price gouging that they've done for particular sets. All of them, they basically said, look, if you own the physical thing, piracy is the solution. Because you're either doing one of two things. Either you're pirating your own stuff, or you've already bought it and it doesn't matter where you get your digital version from. And that's my feelings about the thing. Where it's like, look, if I paid for this, whether on cable TV, on broadcast TV, on a streaming service, or wherever, I've paid for it. I paid to view this. Now, if I can't view it anymore because some service provider decides to say, no more. No, I don't agree with that. I've paid for the service to view this. There's no reason why I shouldn't down the road when I'm free to view this, not when you say I should be free to view this. So yes, piracy is the answer for many, many things. So if you've paid for it, it doesn't matter. They've got the amount of money out of you that they're going to get. It doesn't matter how many advertisements you see, because that's the other argument that people say is like, oh, it's paid for advertising, you have to watch. No. I am under zero obligation to watch any advertising that they have. Their deals for what they show and when they show it does not involve me at all. I am not part of that discussion. I'm not part of that thing. Their money is exchanged hands. Advertisers paid for this, fine. But I'm under no obligation to commit my eyeballs to what they paid for. None. So yeah, the money exchanged for what services you pay and provide, whether it's a physical media streaming service or whatever, that's the amount of interaction I'm having with anyone. Beyond that, no, it doesn't matter because I've paid for it.
That's tricky.
Speaking of content and relevant bad 4K upscales, Jeyl, I followed your link and watched Michael Mann's The Keep on YouTube.
Yes.
I can see I can see the connections that you make to this with the idea of the strange structure that people tell you shouldn't go into that has a weird demon in it. Obviously the specifics kind of break down because they're like the demon's after a very specific thing and he actually talks to you, which I think we don't really get that out of this.
No. Oh,
I can see the comparison.
Obviously, it's not. I can see it, but it's
Yeah.
one of the few movies that actually said this reminds me of Pathways in the Dark. Because again, and it's very loose, and the film was butchered from a 4-hour cut to 90 minutes.
And also, admittedly, Nazis. I mean, wasn't it? But that I think that's more riding the Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes, the kind of the way this is. Mining the whole Hitler obsession with the occult.
Well, the thing about the keep is the entity that is inhabiting the keep is a cosmic entity.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the one here in Pathways into Darkness is. It's not a religious entity or a spiritual earth-based entity at all. And you get that from the book.
Can't we have both?
Well, Michael Mann probably wanted to have both, but it was probably cut out.
There are also fictional worlds where there's a convergence there, like Lovecraftian mythos basically is kind of taking those two ideas and saying they're the same thing.
There is that one moment where it's carrying that lady and it's all smoke and you can see its red eyes that do remind me a bit of the Phantoms in this game.
Yes, absolutely.
And boy, it does one kills a lot of those Nazis like crazy.
Cyborg is like what is it? Draken official channel goes, you can't steal it. I want to steal it.
It's also weird how it really starts. It starts off with the good Nazis and bad Nazis there because the Nazis show up at the beginning of the film and you're thinking like, okay, these are the bad guys, and then the SS show up and you're like, no.
No. You think we're bad guys? I'll show you bad guys. Actually, what's really funny is I just saw this thing where you remember that advertisement said you wouldn't steal a car.
Yes.
Yes.
The famous anti-piracy ads. The one I absolutely love the version that IT Crowd did, making fun of that one. I don't know if you've seen that one, but they did that in an episode which was hysterical. It's like you wouldn't kill a policeman, you wouldn't steal his helmet, you wouldn't go to the toilet in his helmet.
No.
Yeah, it's an hysterical ripoff of it.
So Blackstar, did you watch that film or have you watched that film?
No, he's trying to get me to watch it forever. I don't even know if I have a copy. I have not seen it yet.
I would have thought you would have been all over that because I'm not a huge Michael Mann fan.
I like Michael Mann. I love Michael Mann stuff. I love Heat. I love Manhunter. I'm a big fan of his work.
The Tangerine Dream soundtrack, and also the cast on this thing is
I know is massive
for a B movie of this level.
I know
Jürgen Prochnow.
It checks so many of my boxes.
Gabriel
Gabriel Byrne. I mean, it's
And speaking of,
but I've heard such horror stories, and the funny thing is,
Ian McKellen. For God's sake,
Ian's in this.
Ian McKellen playing an older version of his younger self.
Yep, but you know what's funny is that this very movie, I remember the box in Video Revolutions near the floor of the horror section.
Leah.
Oh, I made it to here. I know where here is.
This is the point of no return if you cross this door.
Yeah,
so you better save it.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean we have to back up?
Yeah,
there's no saving.
There's no
there is
crying
no saving,
in baseball.
only Zool.
And I honestly don't think you're ready.
Ooh, them's fighting.
I don't have a choice.
Can we talk to the body first?
Yes, I'm going to do that. Of course.
Talk to the body.
We're going to search the body.
Broken M16, M16 magazine.
Oh, grenade launcher.
There's that's one of the two things down here we're looking for.
And frag cartridges. Ooh,
the game
nice.
He's got the M79, not the 203. Okay, that's funny. So yes, no, I have not seen it yet. But the funny thing is that, I've heard so many horror stories about the film, how Michael Mann's like totally disowned it, how everybody involved in making it absolutely hated it. And I swear, the box was on the lower portion of the shelf at Video Revolution in the horror section that I used to walk
that's where
by
I remembered it from because I never watched it
every
back
time.
then. Never.
And the funny thing is, did you not rent it once?
I don't think, if I did, I forgot. I don't think so.
Well, see, that's
But,
just
I mean,
it. Have you
did-
seen it?
I
Did
did
you remember
remember the
seeing it
cover.
on VHS?
No, I watched it on YouTube. As far as I could tell, that was the first time I'd watched it. I don't believe I ever watched it.
Yeah, okay, you don't be growing up. Okay.
I do remember the
Because
box.
I swear I have seen probably, I want to say 30 seconds to a minute, either on like late night, channel 38 movies or whatever,
Really?
back in the day, but I have not seen the whole film at all. I've seen like Jürgen Prochnow, and of what I saw,
From what I saw,
the
that is
tiny
not a
bit I
Dana
saw,
Hershey
it made
movie loft
0
movie.
sense to me.
That is a
So-
creature double feature level movie.
Yeah.
With movie loft pretensions.
Yeah, no. But see, that's just it. And that's why I've had like zero all ambition, to tell you
The
the truth.
hilarious thing, and I did go through, I went through the IMDb trivia for that right afterwards, especially the bit where Ian McKellen was told basically like he had to be a Bulgarian, and then when he showed up on set, they were like, "No, you're from Chicago," and he was like, "I can't do that."
Oh, and yeah, the studio chopped it. They tested it with a preview audience, and they had almost so little faith in this film. They released the preview cut as a theatrical.
As a
film, 'cause
theatrical, yeah.
If you listen to the film, the audio work is terrible.
Yes,
They
it
did
is.
bring Ian McKellen. Like when Ian McKellen's acting against a wind machine, they're using on-set audio. You can barely understand a word he's saying.
So again, not a lot of ambition to see this movie.
Okay. There was a description.
79 is an American-made grenade launcher as a single-shot weapon used to fire grenades at high velocities. Double-click
Yeah,
the
it's the
M79 to ready a new cartridge. Okay.
Yeah, it's the 79 though. It's not the 203. See, if it was a 203, you
Is
could
the
stick it on the
203
M16 and use it at both at the same time.
That's just a pre- doesn't
Weren't
make
there-
sense.
in this game
weren't-
though?
And isn't this the 90s? Isn't this grenade launcher kind of out of date?
Oh, it's like 60s. It was like Vietnam era, I think. Actually, here, let me see. I'd look it up. But I'm afraid of being on a watch list.
Fair enough.
So yeah, if I was using
I
my
forgot where they were on one.
yeah, if I was
To
using my
save the world, the
VPN,
government went cheap.
Oh, here's something for Narc. Here's my question, because now see, I've talked to Narc.
the body. If we're at the point of
Oh.
no return, we're at the
Alright.
point of no return. Do we want to talk to this body now? Is there anything of significance here?
We're gonna yes, there is
But there-
definitely material.
What is there
Okay.
not?
Ugh.
I ran all the way back here, but it followed me. It killed everyone else.
Followed.
I don't know anything
shoots,
about that anymore. I don't
Okay,
understand. My name doesn't matter. Yours won't either in a moment.
I hope you're not Greg.
Ooh, death.
Oh, okay. It just starts out with that.
Killed?
Oh, who was the
It.
name? What was the name of the other guy? Carlos. Wasn't it? Okay.
Well, there was Ed and Jason. Everyone's dead. Greg, Steven, Ed, you two. You shouldn't have come down here. You'll never leave now. Leave? I don't know anything about
Death.
that anymore.
Is there anything about death?
Jason, I don't understand.
Ask him
Aaron,
about
Sean,
taxes.
No.
Okay. Sorry. What were you asking, Joe?
Death.
Oh, I asked about that. It just goes back to it just starts with
Oh,
death.
okay.
Killed?
Yeah, tried that. It didn't
Okay.
you didn't
Followed?
know anything. Tried that.
Okay. We're on
Everyone?
Needle Light. Let me pull that
Everyone's
page
dead.
up and see if there's something we need to find
Okay.
there. And this guy wouldn't tell us his name, so we don't know.
Here?
Cyborg wants to know, wasn't Carlos the guy who had no head on the Where Only Fools Dare to Tread?
We're not there
Oh.
yet.
I didn't think so. I think he was jumping ahead.
Bomb.
Forget that,
he doesn't-
man. Try to get out of here. Maybe you can make it. Who knows? But forget that.
He does say that this grenade launcher is hit scan, so it does like instantly hit stuff.
Steven.
I can't think of anything else to ask him.
I'm trying to find on the page.
Did
who
you
this
try all the
is.
names? The
It's not
Steve and
helpful. Yeah, all
Ted
the
and-
names we have.
nothing. Now, does he know anything about the Germans? Did you try putting in the German names?
About Germans.
I don't remember the German names offhand, so I couldn't
Okay.
say.
Blur.
Jeyl, this one won't tell us his name. Do we know what his name is?
He's too much in
He's
shock over what he
either-
experienced. He's
he-
not going to give us anything outside of
Yeah, but
this
he's probably
warning.
either Jason, Darren, or Sean.
I'll say this: knowing his name is not going to help us anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I
Could
mean,
be good.
it might help find
Okay,
the
this
file.
is okay. This is Darren.
Okay.
Okay, start from the beginning again with death. Now, again, I wouldn't normally have picked this. The words here that it would seem like would be logical to look for triggers would be the ones we tried. Followed,
Mhm.
killed, maybe everyone. No, the trigger it's looking for here is ran.
Ah.
It. All I see are flames. You'll find out fast enough. You're locked in here too, just like we were.
Ooh,
Type in it.
So now we got flames and locked.
Yeah.
Burning and searing. All I remember is smoke and fire.
Try it.
Locked was one.
Oh wow, it works.
See?
Locked.
See, the thing is, they're repeating things. They're like repeating
Right.
words they want you to do. So anything they repeat is something I guess you want to try.
Pity they didn't make a new body for Chard.
And the only way to leave is through that thing. Good luck. Everyone was also a trigger, but I think we
Yeah, I
think we
tried that
did
one,
that
yeah.
one.
Try thing.
And apparently that one about forget that man is a valid response to either beacon, bomb, code, grenade, launcher, infrared, or goggles.
Oh wow.
He's given up on the mission entirely.
Wow, we are
Yeah.
all going to end up on a watch list just by that sentence alone.
Yeah. Although Darren does not reveal his name, it is possible to work out who he is by process of elimination. So basically, you can find all the other bodies. They will all tell you who they are. The one who doesn't is Darren.
It's Return of the Obra Dinn.
Well,
Aaron's kind of a dummy.
Okay, I think we've gotten everything we can get out of Darren.
I'll see how badly I do here. Should I go for the grenade launcher at start or the sky?
Well, Lionel says it is hit scan, so it should kill things pretty instantly. My question is that is it got a range where you're going to kill yourself with it by
Got another
accident?
one.
But where are the flames? You need to find Greg. How'd you get down the ladder at the base of the pyramid? Those doors shut behind us. So who's
Okay, a
this?
lot of
Oh.
things here.
Magic.
So if that was Darren, who's this? Name. Sean. Okay.
Okay, let me.
I'm Sean, man. Who do you think I am? Are you sure you're okay?
Nope.
No, yeah, exactly.
Please.
Frankly, no. You'll find the flames soon enough. Okay, so
How do I get back to the description? I just restart.
Sorry, man, you're not making any sense. Actually, ask him what happens when you play country and western music backwards.
Red flames. You need to find Greg. Okay, so what? Greg, ladder, pyramid, all seems like good options.
Ladder.
Sorry, man, you're not making any sense. What's a ladder?
Oh,
The
You know,
first few
someone
doors.
did. What's his name?
His name is Sean.
Okay. Wait a minute. We're asking the wrong. Oh, I think we're asking the wrong. No. I
oh,
think,
we're
what's it?
I have the
Keep going.
conversation in front of me. It's okay. The first few doors
Okay.
we walked through, and this pyramid sealed behind us, and we had no way to go but down.
okay. Down.
No.
No.
You can ask him all the other names though. So Greg,
Oh,
Steven,
nice, okay.
Jason, whatever.
Oh, Stephen. I didn't know there's a Stephen.
Annette, Cubby, Roy.
Is
Roy.
it a V Stephen or a PH Stephen?
It's a V, Steven.
A B Stephen.
A V, Steven.
V.
Oh,
V
V
is in victory.
Okay. John.
V as in Stephen. John died before we realized we needed the infrared goggles to see those snakes a few levels ago. That's weird to call it
Snakes?
level. That's a very gamey thing.
That's M as in Mancy.
Infrared. I don't understand. You're not making any sense.
Okay.
Snakes. Why did it have to be
There
snakes?
are too many goddamn snakes in this goddamn permit. Greg has the bomb.
Snake,
You need to
snake.
find him and complete the mission. Steven changed
There's
the
a s-
code. I don't know what it is.
There's
Okay,
a
so we've
snake
got
in my
all
boot.
mission and code.
I believe the infrared guy also said that the
Yes,
code
the
was
mission.
changed as well.
Don't tell me you don't remember the mission.
Do we know
There's
where
a
the new
s-
code is, or
there's a
do we have to
snake
guess?
in-
Don't remember the mission. We didn't even
We
read the
are-
manual.
We are the
I
mission.
got the manual. Oh yeah, I was talking about that with you after last
Yes,
stream that we
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
that
so-
we didn't. There's a lot of material in the manual that we haven't actually gotten
Oh,
to,
really?
which
Okay.
might be
Nope.
fun to get
Game
to.
essential material.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's
We're
finish this
totally-
conversation
let's
first.
open up the hairway to Steven.
Okay, Steven.
Steve
That
was
was
the first one to die. You'll find his body up the corridor a bit. Be careful. Careful is a good trigger. too.
Wait, hold on. If Steve was the first to die, would we have passed him already? Because we're going into the
No,
pyramid,
if
right?
been doing a lot of
they probably
backtracking.
retreated.
What? I don't
He doesn't know about
understand.
Jason.
Nobody did know about
Aaron.
careful. He said careful.
So you mean they got killed running out?
All right, he's Sean. Ed. There we go.
Ed bought it as soon as we reached this level. It saved him the trouble of dying here with the rest of us.
Mm,
Well, you keep running from the things, you're just going to die tired.
okay.
Um,
Can I ask about?
in
Okay.
in the description of Steven, he said we had to be careful. We all died by fire. Darren was the last, but after I died, it chased him around the corner into that dead end.
All right.
Well, there's our identification for him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Is there anything else?
Careful.
Oh,
That thing will probably attack you when you get close to Steven's body, so watch out.
mhm.
Anything else? Let me see if there's any missing.
It's funny. All these interactions make me want to take
beacon.
out a piece of graph paper
Beacon.
to start
Or
mapping all
actually,
these
you know
things.
what? There are 3 words that trigger this conversation, and the most appropriate one for today's discussion is extraction.
Well, maybe we should change the title. Pathways into Extraction.
I hope you can find an intact beacon, or you're really toast.
Did we search him?
You're gonna lose all your loot.
Goodness, did we say? I think I. Oh no, I didn't.
You're
Okay.
gonna have to make some microtransactions.
Oh God, no.
Oh, boy. That's so bad.
Well, all right. So did
Quick,
you want to
get
look
to
at the
the
menu?
Eververse store while it's
Oh.
on sale.
Yeah.
I stuff all this in my red velvet bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
We got a
If you
projectile,
see that
another
red
type of
velvet
cartridge.
bag, I keep thinking cake.
Cake is forever. Don't joke
Hmm.
about cake.
Okay,
The
let's.
cake is a lie.
Nah, cake
Jeez,
beats
wish
pie.
Somebody was gonna say it.
See, I have the menu. Oh, it's going to be a little. Okay, I can't have the. It might.
Oh, we get.
Okay, I
can
guess
see it.
much of it's black and white. I can't zoom this. You would have to zoom this if we
That-
want to.
Oh,
Get
hold
it
on.
bigger, but.
You want to read
there-
the description?
See, yeah, we have the whole backstory right here. I don't know if we want to go through this or not.
Should we post a copy for the internet to read on their own?
I mean, there is one. I'm pretty sure there's copies of the manual at the Pathways site, which is pid.bungie.org. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we'll let the audience, if they're so inclined, partake.
But yeah, let's at least find the critical mission objective part.
For what we need right at this moment.
Oh,
yeah.
the code is in here somewhere. Yeah, that's right. But,
Yes.
we
I love
don't
all
we
the
don't need that right
technical
now.
Stuff like Does your Mac have Sound Manager 3.0?
Oh.
I was waiting for a symbol wheel as their
Okay.
copy protection.
Oh,
No one's ever going to use a Xerox machine to beat this. Never. So,
oh, it's going to be right around this corner, isn't he?
well, that's where Steve is, and they say that that's where he's going to jump out and kill you. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And we can't backtrack
Think
from here, I assume,
so.
right? That door locks
Nope.
behind us.
I was getting ready to laugh.
That door closed the moment she
Ah,
stepped
yeah,
right
I
past
figured.
it.
Yeah, I don't
Dun,
have
dun,
a
dun.
save to backtrack to.
Really?
She's going to die. Quite horribly.
Oh, we'll just have to end the series then.
Well, speaking of series, now, Jeyl, were you a
There's
fan
another
of
body?
Were you a fan of the John Wick series?
A little bit.
I'm not.
Jeyl?
Ooh, there we go.
Beacon.
Yep.
Yep. It's Beacon.
Quick, save everything.
We can't.
I
We
can't.
can't. We don't have that cheat activated.
Okay.
Yep.
This is one of the three I guess 3. Now we only need one, right? I mean, like we don't need to
Right,
find all
right.
3. They don't plug into each other and turn into a trigun or something. I mean, like
No.
We're gonna have a
no.
triple beacon.
double click the beacon to trigger it. Doing this inside the
With
dungeon will be useless
cheese.
as the signal will not reach the surface. Okay, so this is how we extract.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Pathway
that's
is an
all these.
extraction.
The new marathon is just returning to form. It's an homage to Pathways, guys.
Oh my
Don't you
goodness.
get it?
Do you know what I want them to do? I want them to steal their own artwork. That would be funny.
What you mean,
Uh,
like
Oh, I can
Halos?
talk to him. I forgot about
No,
that.
Yeah,
I want
let's
them to
talk to
literally
the-
go
talk
back
to the
and
dead guy.
start start taking all their old games and ripping out all the shaders and assets and
Well,
artwork.
I'm telling
and
you, that
whatever
might
else.
be the good thing. I mean, like it seems
Oh.
bad to say, right? I shouldn't want Bungie to just give up trying new things and just do what everybody else does. But after looking at the Oblivion remake and looking at the Marathon game, I'm like, no, cancel that thing and remake Marathon in the Unreal Engine. Just do that. Flames. I
Hey.
see flames everywhere.
Names.
Now,
We
is
never
this Steve?
We never stop firing at it. Back up around a corner, fire, back up, fire. It's got to be hurting. You can kill it. If
Ooh,
it bleeds,
hurting.
you can kill it.
I was waiting for him to say that.
Yeah, so this is Jason. We saw a little blood. Our bullets were hurting it, but it didn't seem to care.
Okay.
Flames.
Oh.
My name doesn't matter anymore. Well, we were just talking about that a while ago.
So, is this
Um,
Steve or is this Jason?
This is Jason.
This is
Jason.
Jason. Okay, so
Jason's
we
on
haven't run into Steve
sabbatical. And
Yeah.
Greg. He's probably not going to respond to these, is he?
say Jason. Of course
okay.
I'm Jason, man. Who else would I be? Pathways. I'm coding this script in the afternoon of July 22nd. Do you think we'll make Macworld on August 3rd?
Oh
No.
my
No.
God.
No, because
Nice.
because there'll be a delay printing the boxes, you see. And so
Oh, of
Yep.
course.
you'll miss it.
No, you're gonna miss the deadline.
actually,
there goes your bonus.
I think at that Macworld they were giving this out in Ziploc bags. Something
Oh
like that.
man.
Please buy our game.
That huge blue grinning thing torched us all, man.
Okay, we already did this one.
There's not that much to this conversation. I think we've seen everything.
Okay.
Flames everywhere.
All
There's
right.
everywhere.
Let me
So
get
Jeyl,
the,
no, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your microphone when you responded to my question. So,
What's the question?
were you
Oh,
a fan of
there
the
it
John
is.
Wick
Good
series?
grief.
I'm okay with the John Wick series, but
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because I know Narc is not a fan.
Nope.
He never has been or hasn't seen any of them. I don't know which.
last magazine before you go to the Cedar. Or no. Before you go to the last one. Switch your grenade.
Yep.
Oof.
Okay. Whew. Yeah, okay.
Potion?
Good catch.
Oh, actually, no. Actually, our health is okay.
Okay, I probably don't want to shoot frag cartridges at this range.
Well, yeah. See, I was curious whether any of those weapons were going to kill you in proximity.
The orange is. Should I switch to the blue maybe? Instead of slowing down.
Because we have very limited room to maneuver, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
will dead end.
Yeah, I know. All right. Oops. Oh, okay.
Oh, that doesn't last long.
Nope.
Flames everywhere.
Oh, nice.
Hey, all
Bingo.
right, all right.
Well, it is hit scan, so it is pretty quick, but I was
All
curious
right.
whether or not you'd make it. Well, the reason I bring it up is because there is a new documentary that I think you might be curious about. It's called Wick
I
is
saw
Pain.
it. I saw it on your server
Yeah.
there.
Yep, by Jeffrey Doe. Yeah, I would highly recommend checking it out. Even the trailer, just to see what it's about, because there's a reason why it's so good. And I think the documentary would cover a lot more in explanation, because Narc has never been a super action kind of guy. It's never been a genre he's been like super interested in
for
or
its
whatnot.
own sake.
But see, this is
must be
why
Steven.
this is better, because it's not for its own sake, and its technique and style, its cinematography, its action is all of the highest caliber and tier, and that's why it is as respected and as loved as it is.
Yes, but it needs to be in service. To me, it needs to be in service of an interesting story or thematic exploration, and it isn't.
And that's what I agree with. You can even the same thing across all these movies can be redundant, no matter how great it is. Because
Oh yeah, no, that I understand.
Yeah.
But
Now, I'm
none
trying
of
to-
its perceived flaws has ever detracted from my enjoyment of them. And
No, but
like many other series, these ones have the unique caliber of getting better and better as they go on, as opposed to getting worse and worse.
Wow, we all thought you were dead. It's a good thing you make it. You're probably the last hope now.
Last hope?
No, there is another.
Mm.
I was waiting for
actually,
him to
he
say that.
can help
That's
us with that.
That's not Elvis. It's Yoda. I can't help you with that. I'm Steven.
Yes, you
if
can.
If I weren't dead, I'd be insulted. You don't recognize me.
Okay, now here's the thing: do the Southern, but do it backwards like Yoda.
I don't. I think that'd break my brain. I don't know if I can do that.
Well, see, that's just it. It's like, okay, do Yoda in the Southern accent.
Begun the Clone Wars have. I don't know. I mean, I got nothing.
Priceless. That's awesome. Oh man.
Slimy.
Okay.
Mud hole. This my home. This is. All right. There's this huge blue creature around the corner. Watch out. I was the first one to get burned. I'm glad we left Greg outside the door.
Ooh,
Judge
about
me
that.
by size, do you?
So Greg
Well,
is
that's
not
good.
amongst the casualties on this floor.
Do or do not. There is no
Or
try.
level.
But before we go too far, I wanted to look up the page on that enemy we just killed. Oh, it's just a picture.
the big blue meanie.
Yeah, I wanted some text about it, and there's
Dark
there's
Redshift in chat has this great.
You know what that
It's
might
great
remind
box
me
form.
of, Narc?
Oh, and yes, that is where they got that sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Greg was carrying the bomb when he got separated from us by that sliding door. We tried to stop it from closing, but it was too strong. Find him. He needs your help.
I don't think he's alive anymore. I think we're a little late for that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Try sliding door.
We're still on Need a Light, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so then after
Ooh.
Jason, this is Steven.
Huh.
Uh,
This is blue.
Blue meanie.
yeah, you'll see soon enough. I can't really describe what happened.
Carlos Gentina.
Did we ask him about the code yet? Because the other ones told us that he had the code.
Oh, code.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot. We changed the first 3 digits of the code from 287 to 658 because you were separated from us. Okay, but that only gives us half the code.
Oh, yeah, the
and
benefits in the
there is.
manual.
Oh, okay. Great.
That's it.
Okay, super.
Yeah.
That's why the manual is
Super.
essential. You don't get the full code in this game. You just get the corrected first 3 digits.
Gotcha.
Name? Oh, right, Stephen. Okay.
Okay. Did we ask about
John?
John? Yeah.
John.
We lost John a day ago when we were attacked by these invisible monsters.
Visible. No.
I
Oh,
can't
Oh yeah,
help you
he's
with
the one
that.
with the infrared goggles.
Invisible things are invisible.
Oh, wait.
I
we-
don't know
we
what to
asked
tell
her
you.
this, but-
Jason. Sorry, say that again. I never heard of no Jason. Okay, there's a chance it doesn't appear to be triggerable.
Oh, Cyborg says Redshift is another one of his names.
Ed is somewhere down the corridor behind me. I heard him die right after I did. That wouldn't seem to work. But then again, we are talking to him even though he's dead. So I guess it shouldn't matter. And apparently there's a line that is in the game, but that cannot be triggered. And that is, find Greg and the bomb and bring this whole place down. Don't worry about us.
First, Greg didn't have the bomb, did he?
No.
Oh, Deca says, gotta love that old school copy protection. This is especially mean since you wouldn't find out about it till nearly the end of the game. Absolutely.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and yet there was no like online service to go tell everyone, oh my God, you won't believe I just found out after pirating this game, you need the manual.
There was. I mean, there's CompuServe. I mean,
in 91,
there were news groups, you know, there were also the hint lines, you know, that Tom Cruise could call into because he's having trouble with Marathon.
Oh my God.
Okay, almost out of...
Tom Cruise in a hit line. That one flew over my head.
Well, it's an ageist thing. Did you
No,
change
that's
headphones?
No, that's a thing that Jeyl.
No. Sorry, I was. That's a
Jeyl,
thing?
you know that's a thing that actually happened, right?
Yeah.
He called a hit line?
Yeah,
Tom
a helpline.
Cruise contacted Bungie for help with Marathon. That is a thing that happened.
Yep. My question is, do they record the calls for
no, I don't think so.
quality assurance? Because if it exists, man, I want to hear it.
Hold on a second. I'll find
Tom
that.
Cruise played
that's somewhere on the
Marathon? Oh,
Marathon
that's
story
a
page.
letter upgrade in my book.
Actually, I'd be curious how many celebrities playing certain video games actually either called on helplines or hints or needed assistance with it. Because
Okay, fun. Sorry. Ow! And you went down past this hallway, right, Leah?
Sorry?
You went down, continued down this hallway, right, before you opened the door?
What down? Wait,
Did you walk past that door before you opened it?
no. It triggered as soon as I walked past it.
Okay.
Deca says the most memorable of this type of copy protection that he remembers is the quote "Find the Island" mini game from the Island of Dr. Brain. You guys remember those?
No.
Does that ring a bell? Because I don't think I've ever played that.
I remember the Mac version of Prince of Persia gave you a whole level of potions that had numbers and letters on them, and you had to find in the manual what potion you needed to drink because every other potion would kill you.
I remember a lot of the pie circle charts that had all the random symbols and numbers on them that you had to rotate. And we beat that by simply photocopying and making our own.
So if you missed the brown potion, first off, this would actually have 3 essential things you would need to finish the game.
Okay. I'm having trouble locating the original source for that because apparently, like, searching the internet for Tom Cruise is not an easy thing to do. Because,
no, you'll get the phone book.
Utterly polluted.
What about archive.org?
What I am pulling up is from the Bungie.org forum. This is a post from July 2014 by Matt Sell. And he's basically saying that Tom Cruise, technically his lackey called me. Tom Cruise has people to do these for him, I passed the call to Doug Zartman because the lackey was communicating poorly. He's in a big dark room. There's a corridor going out of it, but the door doesn't work. There's a monster shooting at him, and there's another room he can see, but he cannot get to. Ever try to explain to someone how to explain a marathon infinity level to someone? You can't imagine the difficulty. I was getting frustrated, as was the lackey, and Doug bravely volunteered to jump on the grenade, so I transferred the call. Moments later, Tom Cruise, who must have been pretty frustrated himself, grabbed the phone and started talking directly to Doug, which quickly helped him figure out whatever was confusing him. I believe the lackey was still listening in on an extension or something, because at some point Doug jokingly asked Mr. Cruise if he wanted to do an ad for the game, and the lackey shouted, "No endorsements."
Wow.
Man, I would love to get a copy of that call.
I'm going to post that in the chat. Just
Nice.
Please do.
for the
Thank
sake
you.
of that, because that is the thing. That is the thing that happened.
Very cool. No endorsements. Oh, maybe we should change the title to Pathways to No Endorsements.
Had a dead man grenade
that-
off that guy.
I think that nightmare shot a nightmare that was behind me and blew it up.
Well,
And hurt you?
again, the strafing
Yep.
technique with these guys in order where their friendly fire is on. I'm wondering, do they expect you, when you get these high volumes of characters, to lead the guys in the back, to kill guys in the front? I mean, is that a mechanic that they expected you to utilize on a regular basis in the higher levels?
I don't know. I mean, there are they programmed in a frenzy status for enemies in marathons. So certainly they did like this idea of introducing enemies that got too damaged would become a threat to each other. Like friendly
Right.
fire among enemies in marathon is a thing that's allowed to happen, and you can induce it by damaging things but not killing them. Shane Bishop is like, was that before Tom Cruise went crazy? Who can say, really? I mean,
Well,
like
when
when
was
did
that?
that happen?
Yeah.
Just like people I'm seeing driving around in their Cybertrucks with bumper stickers on them that say, "I bought this before Elon went crazy," and I'm like,
Crazy, right?
no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. He was always nuts. You just didn't
I
know
bought
he
this-
was crazy. There's the difference.
Yeah, a more appropriate thing would be, I bought this before he took his mask off.
Oh, maybe, or before he did the salute.
Oh
don't know.
God, yeah. I
There's
can't
also
believe
another
that.
car down the road that has a sticker on the back of it, like one of those, the college stickers that everybody gets, right? It's just the name of the thing. And it says Elon University. And I'm like, I keep forgetting to Google if that's real or whether somebody's just making a joke.
Does it mention an address in Germany?
No, it's just the name by itself in kind of nondescript lettering. Like it's
There's,
very
there's
much.
no
It's very much
SS
like
next
the.
to it?
It's very much like the shirt that Belushi had in the movie that just says college. it's those letters. It's not. It's very generic.
It's my freaking head, you student.
Liquid TV.
Cyborg says, yeah, wasn't the frenzy thing called berserking?
Yeah, I forget if it actually had a name.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Let's save one more time before heading back up to the labyrinth.
Oh gosh, yes, fun times to be had.
Isn't all of this technically a labyrinth?
Well, the thing is, there is actually a technical difference between a labyrinth and a maze.
I'm sure there is, but it's one of those things where most people consider that it's a distinction without
I'm
a
afraid
difference.
now you're going to tell us.
Now,
No, I won't tell. I won't tell.
Oh, okay.
I
We're
just
in
don't
the
think most people
bottom
will care.
left of the labyrinth. And I think back down to the back further down is on the bottom right, and then also I forget what all the different what direction I should go is what I'm.
Oh,
We
you want
want
a
to go
guide?
the.
Shall we talk to the guide?
My brain is not remembering things at the moment.
Mush. Things. Do. Think. Buttons. Shane
And this
Black
is
says,
not
I only
really
know
a-
Tom Cruise from Weird Al.
Well, we want to take a ladder that goes down.
Okay. We don't need to go back. Okay, yes, we do need to go down. But how many downs are there? Are there 3 downs or are there 2 downs?
2 downs. You're behind. You're on top of one already.
Okay. So so if this ladder goes down to need a light, and the other in the bottom right goes down to the red and green one.
Mm-hmm. Now, there could be a possibility, and this is one I just remembered. There could be 2 up ladders as well, because I do remember you could
Yeah.
access the labyrinth from another level. So really, all you're
Okay.
looking. So look, I think the only thing you're looking for is just one more down from away from this one.
Okay, and we've been to both those previous levels.
Okay.
Right.
The,
And if
Yes.
the walkthrough that's at bungie.org at the end says decision you should make is the crystal ladder going up to the labyrinth.
So 2 more downs, we get to the 20-yard line, you can at least do a field goal.
Right, I'm up at the labyrinth. Is
Yeah.
which way to go down from the labyrinth is, or up?
That's the trick. I don't know where this thing, because it keeps reshuffling.
Well,
but-
the center part of the maze reshuffles, but not the corners.
Okay. We have.
I didn't keep track of that.
Okay, so we have the
Apologies.
violet crystal already, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then we don't need anything from this level. We're just trying to exit it, right?
Yes. I just
So-
want to know which corner I should go to.
To the quickest ladder to get out of here.
Yes.
The last unexplored ladder should be the bottom right.
Okay. That's the one I came up here to from the beginning of the stream.
And that should go down to Laciat Ogne Speranza.
Okay.
Voy
What are the other 2?
Centrate.
Does it say what the other 2 ladders are? Just curious.
No, actually, like the entry
Okay.
at pid.bungie.org is for this level is very short. It just mentions that
Okay.
like there's
This
4 ladders
level
and
is terrible.
Yeah, I think the idea is that by the time you've reached this portion of the game, you've seen the other 3. You haven't done that one. That's the one that goes forward, which is bottom right.
Yeah, and that's probably what anybody was ever concerned about at this point is getting out of here.
And
Oh yeah, that's my concern. Yeah, I just
yes, and Lionel lets us know that a labyrinth is a single path to the middle that winds everywhere. It looks like a maze, but isn't. A maze
Thank you.
is
Thank you.
marathon. A labyrinth is Half-Life.
Yes, that's that put better than I would have.
Of which the rest of the world would say, nerd.
oh come on. Oh good. That was relatively painless.
And that should be it. Yep. So this is I think this is
Yep.
where we're supposed to be.
Quick
Oh,
save.
Definitely worse.
Save all the things.
Oh god. That was a
Well, that
unpleasant
escalated immediately.
Yeah. See, I thought this would have been
Now you said shaken, not stirred, right, soldier?
Well, I know I'm definitely shaking. So when are we gonna wrap this up? 5?
Yeah, we
what
could
do
get a lot of stuff done in the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay, Elia, if you're up for it.
sure. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
You good? Okay. I just didn't want
I'm
to push her because I think
No, I'm
Yeah.
doing okay. Yeah.
okay. Just want to make sure.
I'm kind of getting into my stride. All right, now, and we've explored this level, and just need to go further down, I guess.
Yeah, we're being blocked by those living zombies with force fields.
In fact, since this level is, sorry, I need to go to the left and the right. So
Speaking of Half-Life, I actually thought that boss fight in that corridor reminded me of that Half-Life enemy that also had arms that shot out flames. And the first encounter you had, especially in Black Mesa, you have to bring it all the way back down a corridor to electrocute it to death before it finally dies.
Oh yeah.
oops.
Kind of looks like
See,
a
I do
Quake
that every time.
Shambler. I forget what that one's called.
Okay.
I hate that I see mustaches on that creature.
Now, the next level is with the nasty lizards, yes?
The pods. Or unless the lizards are the things that go across your screen, yes.
All right. Yeah, okay, so this is
Would you like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
I need a pod now. Okay. Pod. Pod. There we go.
Now they don't need to be on screen when you trigger the pod, right?
No,
No. In fact, they actually will never come back if you detonate a pod in that area.
Oh, it's an area thing?
Yeah. So if you detonate enough pods, they won't appear in the level. Period.
Okay. Liacrow is saying a thing. He says this is the wrong level unless we don't have the bomb or the green crystal.
We don't have
I
either
don't
of those
have the
things.
green crystal.
Or the
And
bomb.
Yeah.
No. He's wrong. You are, Leah. You are absolutely where you need to be
Okay.
on that pod level.
Well, I mean, he's offering a conditional. He's saying that, hey, unless you're looking for these things, you don't need to be here, but we don't have either of those things. So, Lion may just have been interpreting from the number of parts we've done on the game so far, and thinking we're closer to the end than we are.
Appreciate the help.
Wrong way.
That tickled.
Whoops there. What are you doing saying whoops there?
I know what I've done when I said oops.
I saw a guy appear and shot out of instinct, but it was a monk.
It was a friendly.
Those are apparently actually called Sentinels, which I have no idea why they're called that.
Yeah, they're just recycling things over and over. Oh, Narc, just a heads up. If you do happen to put NDI stuff on any of your new minis, they have not optimized it at all.
Really? Okay, so it's running on Intel emulation then, right?
The CPU on my thing right up to 92 degrees. And
oh no.
Really?
Oh yeah. And normally it runs like between 45 and 52.
For
so
video or just for audio? Because I'm only using it for audio right now.
Video. For
Okay.
video.
I haven't tried.
I'll have to take the screen was only 19, by 1020. So I mean, it's not like it was 4K or something.
Yeah, no, and like in our workplace, we actually made the call last year. Like, okay, we needed to deploy a bunch of connections for video. What were we going to use?
Right.
And the idea was like, well, we could just stick with 12G SDI and just run dumb cable everywhere and buy a bunch of switches and hubs, or we could deploy all network and do something like NDI, or we could go with 2110. And we basically decided at this point that like, well, nobody's really sure what flavor of 2110 is going to shake out as being the dominant part in the industry. And
who knows where NewTek's going to be.
And with NDI, which is straight up like, you're buying ordinary network gear to run something that runs over TCP, basically meant like we either needed to have our own network engineer, or we were going to be dependent on the IT department of the university to help troubleshoot our video transmission. And I said,
well, yeah, or you're setting up your own subnet. Yeah, you're setting your own VLAN.
So our networking is for audio and control, and we just went with garden variety 12G SDI for video. And NDI would be if I need to connect this computer over here and I don't want to run a cable, I don't have one, maybe I'd use it, but it's not something I ordinarily use.
Yeah, I'm always going with the simplest and most reliable, and sure, fine, you got to run cables, but once you run them, you're done. As long as nobody cuts them, it's like, as long as your ends don't suck, you're fine. And not to mention you're not, some idiot plugs something into the friggin' network and suddenly, oh, I thought this gave power or something. Does this work? And boom.
God,
Wow, that was a lot of skitters.
Yeah, it is a lot.
In fact, yeah. Did Wes ever tell you that time that they fried not one but two separate cameras with firewire because the kids were being idiots?
No.
Ever tell you about that? Some genius had jammed a firewire cable upside down in the port and just left it in the machine upside down. So immediately when someone tried to plug in a firewire port into the DV camera to capture footage, it fried the camera. And instead of taking the cable out of the computer, they simply just plugged in another camera. So he lost not one, but two separate cannons. I forget which models, but they were about $2,000 a piece, of which these kids fried both.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. So
I heard that
that
coming.
was a thing.
Oh God. This is why I hate
Now,
the
Oh,
I
should
I mean, you've seen firewire cables. They have
Get out of
a
there.
idiot-proof notch in them.
Mhm.
And these geniuses
Well,
figured a way to put a square peg in a round hole.
Actually, you know what? Since I've done that,
yeah, you might as well commit.
I didn't see where that zombie came from.
That's what I hate about these ones.
Can the
He
pods
came
Can't
from
see
the
the
moon.
Can the pods be used to kill any other kind of enemy? Like, do they kill anything?
Negative.
You
They don't kill
Right.
anything.
okay. It's just these.
Now, how many crystals do we have left? Do we want to use one here?
There's another. There's the green.
Are we hoarding them for later, or?
Oh no, there's one more kind of crystal that we need. It's the crystal that does the earthquakes because it's the
Yeah,
only way
I
to
just picked it up.
get past
I'm
the
gonna
sun.
head
Okay.
back to the
Look,
safe
we
room.
have the earthquake.
Do we have a
crystal now.
potion? Our health is like down to nothing.
Yeah, I know.
I
Yeah,
know
you
you
got two of
know.
them.
The question is,
You got 2 of them.
you want to do something about it.
What I'm trying to do is get back to safety and rest, which I think I can do.
Oh, I thought you were saying where you once belong.
Get me out of here.
Oh, frack. No. I was
See, that's what I was afraid of.
I know where the crystal is now.
Casualties.
And I did do what you're thinking of, Leah. I definitely went back up the ladder and rested, and then went back down a lot. But it was a good opportunity to get a lot more ammo.
Okay. Now I forget which one I went down.
Oh no.
Well,
But I
One
know
last
where
thing to
all
do.
the level the crystal is. That's
it
at least.
yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just the left side and the right side of that level. So
I gotta say that those things are probably
This
the
oughta kill
weirdest
them.
implementation. The weirdest implementation of a creature ever.
I'm surprised they didn't just have it pop up from the bottom and give you a swiping animation or.
I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, this is just wow.
Woof.
Yeah, that was not fair. It's as almost if like they hired on
Casualty.
somebody from another country whose English was not their main language, and they decided to translate what they were doing, and this is the result. You know, the
To
same
me-
way like posters from like Romania don't really reflect the movie that's in the box.
To me, it's the weird
Sure.
presentation.
Yeah.
There seems to be no effort to make it look like it's a thing in the world. It honestly looks like something
Yeah.
that's stuck on the screen and is
Right,
sliding
it-
by.
It's like
Yeah,
something broke.
there's no-
It's like a lazy 2D
Yeah, it's
model
like-
that is just going scooting by your face.
Yeah, it's like those
Why?
screensavers that try to make it look like you have a bug on your screen.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's the weirdest implementation of a bad creature that I can think of. I mean, can you think of anything you've seen that's similar to that?
Skater Paradise. No.
Like I say, when it comes to things that pop up in front of you, they usually just have it pop up facing you.
Right.
With some
It,
form.
it's, I mean, there are plenty
this
of
is like
arcade video games that have that, you know, the
Casualty.
zombie stuff where their hands or whatever, you know, come out from the corners. But this thing just
Or,
like
you know, when
scoots across. It's like either they were just lazy and said, well, how do we do this? I don't know, just have it run across the screen. Okay, let's do that. Seriously,
I don't know. For the time, I don't think it's too bad of a thing.
right, but can you think of seeing something similar anywhere else?
No, it does seem to be kind of unique in the game that it's the only thing that looks that way.
I just can't think of
I'm
one.
just wondering how they would do it nowadays.
It
Like,
looks
if
like
this
they
was a
high-res
3D.
textures from Frogger and called it a day.
Since I think the way they seem to want it to behave is like a status effect. In other words, like we're giving you a debuff, and until you reach an area where you can remove the debuff, you will be affected by the debuff. So it's kind of
Right, but it's not a target you can shoot. It's not
Yeah.
something you can combat. It's just, this is a thing.
It's like a disease in Morrowind, you know, like you've contracted lizard.
Right.
Until you get the potion cure common lizard, you're gonna have.
Are you
the
seeing
negative
lizards?
effects of lizard?
Are you seeing
Contracted
spots?
lizard.
No,
I don't
I'm
know
seeing
why that.
amphibians.
Not bad for an amphibian.
I am okay. Now I'm closer this time. Except that
Now we're swamped by them.
Whole lot of lizard going on.
yeah, that was a pretty bad lizard infection.
Someday we'll find it. The rainbow
Here,
connection.
here's something from one of our streams. Hey, look, it's the strange new world Gorn attacking us.
Let's not bring up Gorns again.
Don't get me started.
No.
Oh, I love Strange New Worlds.
I do
It's like
too.
my favorite.
It's definitely up there for me.
It's hard. I mean, Deep Space Nine. I mean, can't really top that. But
No. And this is from the Enterprise fan.
oh, where are you? Where are you?
I got a problem with a Star Trek property that basically just says, you know, sometimes you got to do an ethnic cleansing. I got problems.
Yes. We didn't come out here to play God, which is why when it came to live and die, I chose die by default.
Wait, which one is that?
That's literally the show's attitude towards the Gorn. The Starfleet characters basically speak about the Gorn in that way as if they are inherently a problem that need to be eliminated. And like when you
Gotcha.
when you've stepped off of the moral high horse occupied by Captain Kirk, you've created a problem for yourself. You know, like
Not to mention where they set that up later on,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah.
But again, you know, the
And
whole
again,
discussion of where they
this-
weren't a sophisticated, intelligent alien species anymore. They're xenomorphs.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
With
they
predator vision.
I mean, the real problem here, of course, right, is that cultural products reflect culture. They impact culture, but they also reflect it. So, you know, the attitude that you don't need to fight everything, that you can somehow come to understand it, is something you get in the original Star Trek and Next Generation. And now the thing we're supposedly grappling with is the idea that a lot of people want to say, no, there are just implacable enemies, and you will need to destroy them, otherwise you will be destroyed. The problem, of course, is when the fiction intersects when you have one thing occupying both spaces.
Yeah, because the whole point of the Kirk's confrontation with the Gorn is they were thinking beings.
mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
we
like,
were in the wrong,
You
invading
thought
their
it, yeah,
territory.
you thought it was a rubber monster, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
You got thrown into a
okay.
death arena with an alien, and you did not need to kill it.
Mhm.
And the whole
So I
big
guess
point of the
it
story.
does kind of put them in a bit of a corner when
Yes.
they're writing Strange New
Oh,
New
well,
Worlds to.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They were
but-
painted
thing
into
is-
the corner of no personal
but, you know,
conflicts
but-
forever until
but it's a
Rodney
f-
died.
But it's a
So-
fiction, you know. You didn't have to do it yourself. Like you didn't have to do a fascism. You know, you didn't.
Yeah,
nobody's,
right.
nobody's making.
Well,
you.
it's like-
fiction.
And the Gorn aren't just a one episode enemy in Strange
No,
New Worlds.
no,
They're
it's a
they're
long.
Oh, they
Right.
left him on a
And-
cliffhanger. There's going to be a big fix in the beginning of the next season. So, but Gene Roddenberry and whatnot, you know, he wanted to elevate and refocus writing and stories and whatnot. And it pissed off people left and right in the studios and the existing writing department, because they didn't want to have those limitations and challenges and have to figure all that shit out. They just wanted a paycheck. And the studio just wanted a hit. They wanted money.
It's Lizard.
For a reference, look up
I know I've got
Michael
lizards.
Pillar's book Fade In. They describe that, what you're saying, Black Star, as Gene's box.
Yes. Oh yeah, and believe me, everybody and their cousin wanted to get out of or not have to enter into Gene's box. And once Gene died, all bets were off, and that's where, you know, why we are where we are now.
Well, the thing about Gene's box is when you say your characters are so high and mighty, they don't come off as high and mighty. They come off as arrogant jerks who think they know better by default.
Yes. Well, and not only that, he also had this concept which was kind of weird, where in the future we weren't going to mourn death the way that we mourn it now. And I always thought that it was not only a very strange concept, but when in the execution on something like what was the computer one? Shit, pulling a blank. The M5 one. What was the title?
M5 tie-in.
Yes. What was the title of that one?
The Ultimate Computer.
Ultimate Computer. Yeah. See, I couldn't think of Ultimate. So an Ultimate Computer, which literally is like one of the first ones where they, excuse me, had Federation combat against other Federation vessels. They literally killed the entire crew of the Excalibur. And by the end of the episode, we're still got that piffy little joking and whatnot between Bones and Spock and whatever else about logic and computers and blah, blah, blah. No one is mourning the crew of 400 people that their ship just killed, that now they're going to have 400 funerals and explain to all their families in Starfleet why another Starfleet vessel killed them all. We don't get into the hearing and explanations and where Starfleet wants to know exactly what's going on. We never find out what happens to Dyson. So, you know, he just goes to the happy farm.
Well, he wasn't dishonored so much that they still kept the name of his institute.
Everything, yeah. And I love the fact how they kind of replicated that very same troubled scientist character in Enterprise, where you finally meet the guy who invented the transporter and find out that he is a massive jerk who murdered one of Archer's crew to get his son back.
He murders everybody. Everybody who goes into a transporter dies. Who are you talking about, guys?
See, that's the thing. He argues and explains why that argument is bullshit in that very episode, saying everyone used to believe that too, and they're wrong, and blah, blah, blah.
It's just
Of course it's true. Of course it's true. But the thing is that,
to the extent that any fictional thing is true.
Yeah. But any endearing or explanation or understanding of that character and having any sympathy whatsoever is completely gone when he's willing to sacrifice all of Archer's crewmates to get his kid back. And all I could think about is like, okay, so how are you going to explain to the parents that their kid is dead because you wanted yours? How is that remotely acceptable? I've never understood that.
Right, sorry, I got to interrupt here because Lion says, speaking of Star Trek and stuff, I'd love to see a remake of the Tech War game.
Oh my God.
On the Iron Maiden version of the build engine, the same as the Doom engine Operation Body Count. In other words, remade to not suck. I'd love a remake of Tech War that's closer to Shatner's books, the technology settings wise. You know, a YouTuber that I follow just did like
Retreat!
a big
Get the heck out of there!
No,
multiple
okay.
hours
I've made
video
progress,
essay
though.
on Tech War.
On Tech War?
Because I never read any of those and I didn't play the game or anything.
Neither did I. But you gotta die, Lino, when I tell you this.
You had them though, didn't you? Like you didn't even have one?
Oh, no. Right now, I have all 5 of the original Tech War comics sealed in plastic,
The comics
unopened.
are actually some of the best part of that franchise, apparently.
Yes, in a box, in a piece of equipment right behind me right now.
I thought you had
and I
one of the
held
novels,
on to them.
though.
I got them from a little comic store that we had actually uptown. I don't know how long it was there, but it's gone now, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like the only comic I have ever bought, because I thought, wow, this is going to be so rare and no one is going to buy this and no one is going to like
yeah,
it.
Lino, there were comics. Here, actually, let me find this. Let me
hold
find
on.
this essay.
I will go grab them. Grab them. Hold on. I will be
show
right
them,
back.
And I'll look up the essay about this because
Ah! What was that for? That error didn't do anything to you.
I know when I hit enter to close the box, it does the thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's called Modular. He's actually done a bunch of retrospectives on properties. He did one on like all the Ultima games, like all of them.
Okay, ready for the treat, boys and girls? I have here, now this one isn't sealed, but it's been buried. I have a January 28th of the Max that has never been opened. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Brand new, perfectly fine, never been opened. I don't have it sealed in plastic though, so I'm being very gentle with it. But right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10. 10 of the original Shatner Tech World comics that have never been opened, that have literally been in my drawer over here since...
Oh my gosh.
What's the year on this?
Lizard
Oh my god,
madness.
lizards. So many.
Goes
So
the
many
bandit.
lizards. Oh, and now a zombie.
It says October 2nd, but it doesn't say a year. I gotta look at the release year. Oh, 92, I think.
I also just love, and by the way, you can see it on that. Put the last one up. Put the last one up. The one you just put down. Yeah, because you can see on the front of that, that's got the name of the protagonist of this series. And the guy's name is Jim Cardigan.
Yep.
Cardigan.
Oh yeah, these are pretty bad. But I literally have all of these. They are still sealed in plastic. They're as good as you could possibly get, and they've literally been kept in a drawer. Yeah, I'm trying to get the reflections off the lighting here.
Honey,
oh, and yeah, and that's the main character. Like the main character, like his wife leaves him, but then there's a robot that looks like her, and he falls in love with the robot, and then the robot dies, and he doesn't care, and he goes back to dating his ex-wife. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. But yeah, so I have the first 10. In fact, actually here's something Jilly Bean would love to have seen.
Oh God.
This is the Top Gear magazine, the signed one that she got me back in the day when she was going to a LAN. Because we had actually, at one particular LAN, I had brought my Xbox that had Plex on it. Or actually, technically, it was XBMC. It's the same program. And I had all my Top Gear episodes and actually played some for people at the LAN who had never seen Top Gear before at all. And sure enough, the people were absolutely, I showed them a couple of the races. They were laughing their asses off at all the jokes during the races. And because Jilly was coming all the way from across the pond, I said, hey, can you pick me up a Top Gear? And she's like, really? Okay, I guess I can. And she thought it was so weird. But sure enough, autographed and everything.
Firing, gosh darn it.
In fact,
It's hard, okay?
That was from Gorman. I order you to hold fire.
This is from 2006. So yeah, all of these in archive drawer and whatever. So I have no idea what the Tech Worlds are worth. And I'm assuming that they're probably 30 cents more than what I paid for them. Because I don't think anybody in the world is collecting any Tech World comics at all.
There could be somebody, you don't know.
Maybe, who knows? In fact, actually, tell you what, I'll fire up eBay or a comic source and I'll see if anybody is selling Tech Worlds for more than, what did I pay for these? $1.75.
Yeah, I just saw that. Go collect. It says Tech World #1 is worth $1.75.
Yay!
It's literally
You'll break
got
even.
no value. So yeah, so I got them for the novelty of no one in the world is going to want these ever. But I'm going to have the most perfect collection of the first original 10 comics. Just so I can say I have the perfect collection.
Speaking of collectibles, did you guys catch it? Miguel did a stream a couple weeks ago.
No, I didn't
Nice
get the
dodging
notification.
there, Leah.
What did he stream?
He was literally offloading some of his Bungie swag. Like he was going through some, because he was basically like getting ready to give it to somebody else.
Really?
And so he was going through and showing some of its stuff on camera, you know, like the boxed games and stuff. Like
Okay, well, here's my question. Is he officially still Bungie's number one fan? Say, Miguel. Inquiring minds want to know.
Anymore. I don't know that he's going to fight anybody for the title at the moment. And
well,
frankly,
I wonder if he's going to retire it.
He did this stream before the latest plagiarism.
Hey, Leah.
Well, okay, so in other words, he was getting away from it from even others earlier garbage.
I think it was also more a question of like, this stuff is taking up a lot of space in my house.
MP41 ammo.
So you think it was more making the wife happy?
I think it was more a question of like the part of my life when that was such a huge portion of what's going on, that this stuff needed to occupy all this space, is now over. Right. Not so much like I hate Bungie now, they suck. It was more like I'm not hanging on to this stuff for those reasons anymore.
Well, you know, it's funny because the only other collectibles that I have from that era is, one, I've got the signed Frankie art book, and I also have, and he was a weird individual when I met him, man. He was an odd
no.
duck. No, but I have two discs that were signed by Jen Taylor.
I fear for you, Leah.
I know.
And to be honest, I don't know what to do with those either, because it's literally like the only thing I've ever asked anybody for an autograph for, and she was kind enough to do that. And I'm not one to sell that kind of stuff. I would just give it to a fan. But considering their recent history lately, I don't know if there are any fans left. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't know what to do with it. So, Jeyl, do you want any of these?
I'll get back to you.
See, now if Jeyl won't even take it, and you look in the collection behind him and see why that's funny. Yeah. So if he has no interest in it whatsoever, then that pretty much sums it up for the planet.
It's Miguel Chavez, who was at some point nominated to be or awarded the title of Bungie's biggest fan.
Yeah, he is officially Bungie's number one fan. He has been for.
He ran bungiesightings.org, bs.bungie.org, which was kind of when it was started up, was kind of to be like hey, people who've left Bungie or did projects outside Bungie, just naming, you know, who they were and what they were doing, that kind of thing. I don't think.
Oh gosh.
Deca says, just for fun, I looked up on eBay, and one has one that you showed opened for sale for $4. Ooh, so it's literally doubled in value. In what, 92 to now? It's what, 33 years? Pathetic.
At least your health is up to 20. I think it was 16 when we started.
I picked up Ruby on this level.
I'd be more curious if who would be interested in the Max, to tell you the truth, because that's the only Max one. I wanted to get a whole Max collection, but I only was able to find this.
Health?
Yeah, the more treasure you collect, the higher your health gets.
I did.
It's weird.
I missed that. I did not know that was a mechanic in this game.
Yep.
I thought it was another like totally abandoned thing where it's like, yeah, you know, like points. You know, there was a score mechanic by how much money you collected, and it didn't do anything.
No,
it actually raised.
Yeah, it's way more important than that.
HP.
And here's the thing. Remember when we took the portal to skip a lot of backtracking originally? That took us to the infrared goggle guy.
Yeah.
Well, by doing that, I skipped a whole gold bar.
A whole
Well,
gold
I
bar?
kept seeing those notes about the treasure. I'm
Oh.
like, yeah, who cares? Who cares? I mean, because I thought the only thing it did was tell you you have 205,000 in treasure. I didn't know it actually
Oh,
raised your
no,
max
no, no.
HP.
So yeah, your health may be lower than it could be because of that. So I
Where was that gold
apologize,
bar?
Leah.
That's what I get for
It
not
was
reading
on
the
the
manual.
you know, when you open up with the alien pipes, one sends you
When I
to
open up
I
what?
think the room wrong way, and the
You,
other one
I
sends you
lost
to
you.
the pit with all the sludges.
Hello?
And
Yeah,
it's the
Jayl's
room with the
mic cut out.
sludges where you meet that
Okay,
Nazi
it's not just
who
me.
has that single gold bar.
Oh, there you are again. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
your mic totally dropped out there.
I got dropped out of mumble. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you know what? When you open the first floor with the alien flute,
Yep.
one room sends you to I think it's the wrong way
Mm-hmm.
room, and the other one sends you to a room with all of these sludges. It's that room with the sludges that has the Nazi with the gold bar.
Did we miss an entire level?
Yes.
But
But it's hey, listen, you guys told me to take that portal, and that portal took us to the level below it.
I'll take responsibility for that. I believe I was the one who said to do that.
Yeah, I'm not taking responsibility for any of this.
But again, I was reading a walkthrough that basically said the thing you would miss would be a gold bar, and I didn't think I cared about that. But I didn't know about the health mechanic.
Oh, Linus
Hey.
says he'd take my tech wars. No, it's okay.
Hey,
I'm holding on to these till I die. Because then they can use them in the cremator when they throw me in with the cardboard box. They'll use this as kindling.
At least we didn't commit to using the Easter egg when we found it.
Oh yeah, that's true. We didn't do
oh
that.
no, that would not work. Oh my gosh, I don't know where he is.
I hate this enemy. I hate this zombie. We're dead.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, maybe we should end that here because we're already 15 minutes past.
Yeah, should we
Are we?
wrap up for this stream? Or
Yeah, I think we should.
Oh man, but we're so close to the biggie.
I know, but it'll just give a reason for everyone to tune in.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna do an opening with. Yes.
Think of it as a
What do you
cliffhanger.
think?
Tune in next week when
But hey, that was good going, Leah.
Oh God, you did awesome.
Thank you.
Now, would you say we've gotten to the halfway point?
I think
Maybe.
we
I would say, in terms of item acquisitions, yes, we are at the halfway point.
Perfect.
But
Then I'd say it's a good day.
there are still some things that we're going to get totally lost in.
Well, I don't think we need to get everything. I just think we want to get enough to actually complete the game. That's to me the real goal more than anything else. Not that we get every nook and cranny and gold bar.
Well,
Okay.
there's a part that reminds
That
me
gold
about
bar will
driving.
make the final fight a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. I was poo-pooing the treasure because I didn't think it mattered. But I guess it does.
You never do.
Okay. So next stream is not going to be this coming weekend because of work.
Reasons.
Basically,
Right.
we're running an event this end of this week, and then we are shutting down for renovations. So basically, the weekend of Saturday, Sunday, Monday is being consumed by set demolition. So
Ooh.
not going to be available, but we should be able to come back after that. So Saturday the 7th at the regular time, we should be able to play some more of this.
In
Yeah,
June.
Hey, I'll have my Switch 2 by then.
Oh, sweet. You can do emulators with those too, can't you? Right?
I would, but then
I don't
Nintendo
know.
would brick my device.
Yeah, we can't have that.
I do know that I think there was one of those things basically that the backwards compatibility on that is going to be emulation. It's not going to be built-in hardware support like some of the other previous generations of stuff where you just have a mini hardware version of the old version inside the new version. So it's going to be emulation.
Yep.
Okay. So thanks everybody for listening to us talk about Pathways. There's a bunch of other stuff. Bunch of
garbage.
And see everybody in 2 weeks.
See you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.